You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
They confuse us with so much life. Not even thinking that we will realize ostracized. We don't know who to trust. That's why I say, Lord, please listen to this prayer that comes from the Lord. Please send us another Moses again. Oh, we just can't go on this way. Please deliver us today. Time to make them oppress us pay. So the children could see their way. Make them get on their knees and pray. Then I'll be up to judgment day. Oh, just can't make it this way. Please deliver us today. Be like the Israelites believed. Please send us another Moses again. Lord, we just can't make it this way. Yes, deliver us today. Oh, we just can't go this way. No, we just can't make it this way. Please listen to what I say. Yes, hurry up with judgment day. We just can't make it this way. No, we just can't make it this way. Must we get old and gray? And the children can't see their way. Oh, we just can't make it this way. Oh, we just can't make it this way. We like the Israelites living there. Please send us another Jesus again. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Lord, we just can't go this way. Lord, we just can't make it this way. No, we just can't go this way. Please hurry up.
I say you get up one morning, your elders have something. You don't know how they get it, but you want to use it. But if you ask them old people to get the things what they went through, ask them this any day, and your parents sure to say, black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. Make up your mind, brother, that you're able to get a pulley and jam with the devil. Why? Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. Make up your mind, brother, that you're ready to swim offshore and hold your boat steady. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. So when you hear you get a little something with that dragon, now you keep watching, because I don't tell you already. Black man do get nothing easy. I say you get up one morning, and oil money running. How it come you don't know, so that it can how the thing go. But if they read about Uriah, they wanna find out the pressure. How we get so much old hell to get a penny from TLL. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. You got to take up your own cash money, pay people for your your mind to be a magician, to make money out of scrap iron. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. So when you hear you get a little something, with that eagle eye you keep watching, because I don't tell you already, black man don't get nothing easy. We got up one morning, independence happening, getting the thing come easy. Now they're taking liberty, but if they know about petition, we are to send to England for some woman to tell we in this colony free. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. You got to go to conference in England to get independence in your own land. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. People hold you, humiliate you, turn on and sell you, and then they free you. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. So when you hear you get a little something, with that dragon eye you keep watching, because I don't tell you already, black man don't get nothing easy. So when a black man gets something, he got to start thinking to get it there easy. He got to practice economy, from getting licks from the slave master to become the landowner. Brother, it's a terrible journey, packed with plenty brutality. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. You got to rise up, you got to stand up, pick up your mind, you will always stay on top. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. You got to go to conference in England to get independence in your own land. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. You got to take up your own cash money, pay people for your own refinery. Black man have to keep on jamming, for black man to get a little something. Make up your mind to be a magician, to make money out.
Keep me as the apple of thine eye. Hide me under the shadow of thy wing. O Lord, my Savior. It's so hard to deal with personal struggle. So sad when you feel alone in your trouble. It's real hard when you want to talk to a brother. It's so bad because of how some look at you after. So Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover my head. Satan want me dead. Cover my back from human attack. So Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. People see you smile, but don't hold the hurt that you're feeling. Even as God's child, at times your heart does be bleeding. Where can you go when you're really looking for healing? Who know how to flow when your soul needs some restoring? So Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me home from evils unknown. Cover my feet so I'll never retreat. Oh Lord, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover my brother. Cover my sister. Them who under pressure. Cover, 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 cover the preacher, every church worker, the young believer. Cover, 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 the worship leader and intercessor, every gospel minister. Cover, cover, cover. Jesus alone is the one who have the real answer. The one on the throne is the true and loving Father. He will hold your hand and keep you from going under. He will make you stand and let you know he's a fixer. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me, man. You know the struggle sometimes. Cover me mouth, that the wrong thing wouldn't come out. Oh Lord, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover the Christian in the midst of aggression with the power of your right hand. Jesus, cover, cover, cover them helpless children. Jesus, defend them. Send help from heaven. Jesus, cover, cover, cover all them radio stations that blessing the nation. Grant divine protection. Jesus, cover, 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 cover me, cover me, cover me.
Truer words were never spoken. The less you associate with some people, the more your life will improve. Anytime you tolerate mediocrity in others, it increases your mediocrity. An important attribute in successful people is their impatience with negative thinking and negative acting people. As you grow, your associates will change. Some of your friends will not want you to go on. They will want you to stay where they are. Friends that don't help you climb will want you to crawl. Your friends will stretch your vision or choke your dream. Those that don't increase you will eventually decrease you. Consider this. Never receive counsel from unproductive people. Never discuss your problems with someone incapable of contributing to the solution, because those who never succeed themselves are always first to tell you how. Not everyone has a right to speak into your life. You are certain to get the worst of the bargain when you exchange ideas with the wrong person. Don't follow anyone who's not going anywhere. With some people you spend an evening. With others, you invest it. Be careful where you stop to inquire for directions along the road of life. Wise is the person who fortifies his life with the right friendships. If you run with wolves, you will learn how to howl. But if you associate with eagles, you will learn how to soar to great heights. A mirror reflects a man's face, but what he is really like is shown by the kind of friends he chooses. The simple but true fact of life is that you become like those with whom you closely associate, for the good and the bad. Note, be not mistaken. This is applicable to family as well as friends. Yes, do love, appreciate, and be thankful for your family, for they will always be your family, no matter what. Just know that they are human first, and though they are family to you, they may be a friend to someone else and will fit somewhere in the criteria above. In prosperity, our friends know us. In adversity, we know our friends. Never make someone a priority when you are only an option for them. If you are going to achieve excellence in big things, you develop the habit in little matters. Excellence is not an exception. It is a prevailing attitude.
Let me start it again. Yes. Let me say a special hello to all the WZYE 95.9 FM listeners. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, it's in the village with Uncle Tommy, Professor Wall Street, and you. on WZYE 95.9 FM. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we come to you every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 7 to 10 p.m. That's Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 7 to 10 p.m. And you know how we start the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't matter what planet you're from. You're from Mazatania, Xenorania, Sonoranius. Each and every one is welcome in the village on WZYE 95.9 FM. Doesn't matter what color t-shirt you wear a purple t-shirt, a burgundy t-shirt, or orange t-shirt. Each and every one is welcome in the village on WZYE 95.9 FM. And this is how we start the thing.
It have our place, WZYE, where they treat you like friends and family. So if you're looking for a place to belong, going WZYE, you could come along. If you have haste, though, come with me. We do have dad on WZYE, Santa Medite.
Yeah. You know, we always say that here on WZYE 95.9 FM. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we tell you, and we mean it, and we prove it, and we do it. We are the only program on the planet with an oath/pledge to the people that we will bring you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Take a listen.
Ansam LeBon and Marshall Nesbitt solemnly swear to conduct this radio program in a true, fair, and balanced manner, ensuring that all perspectives are given equal consideration and that the information presented is objective and unbiased. We pledge to provide a platform where diverse voices can be heard, fostering open and constructive dialogue that serves the best interests of our audience and community. Our commitment is to uphold the principles of journalistic integrity and ethical broadcasting throughout the duration of this program. Thank you.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Our oath/pledge to you, the people, that will bring you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Tommy, welcome.
Yes, it's a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you for welcoming me, and thank you for being there. And a very good evening to all the WZYE fans and audience around the world, because we are reaching them on any and every corner of this globe.
Mm-hmm. So, Tommy, how was your day?
Quite good, quite good. Cold. It's a cold day. It was a wet one, but I didn't even venture outside today.
You didn't venture outside, Tommy?
No, I just took in the fresh air by the door, back porch.
You know what I say, right, Tommy? I say that this is my philosophy. I don't let outside factors decide whether I'm going to be a success or a failure, because of course, I am involved in track.
Of course.
And so today I went out on the track and I did 5 miles. And
5 wet miles.
Yeah, 5 wet miles. 5 wet miles. But it felt good, to be honest with you. So I ran. What did I run? 39 minutes and 39 minutes and 51 seconds. Yeah, 39 minutes and 51 seconds. I just had to think there for a minute. But you see, what was important, Tommy, for me is that the important thing was that I just got out there and did it. Because sometimes when you see it's raining, why do Trinidadians say rain falling?
Well, I don't know. Certain things are the way they are,
I know we grew up saying rain falling. You mean it raining?
Rain falls and the sun shines.
You mean it's sunny?
It's sunny, sun is shining, rain is falling.
The sun does shine? So what's the difference between the sun shining and you shining a car?
Both are shining.
I told me I don't know how the sun does shine. I don't know. That might be just our balance.
Yeah, that's balance, and we know what it means.
That's what we say. Yeah, so I got into 5 miles, and when I was finished, I felt real good. I felt real good.
I will imagine, like you said, that you're high.
Boy, I can get my weed, man. You know what I mean?
All right.
And only because of the activities, the outside activities now that could make you lose focus. That it could make you lose focus and tell you, boy, it's raining, I ain't going out there today, and things like that. But I, I went way beyond that. I mean, I look out the window. It didn't look like it was raining too much. It was drizzling. And I went out and do what I had to do. So what I'm trying to say to people is that sometimes you can't let outside factors keep you back from trying to do what you have to do. Because sometimes in Trinidad is the rainy season, right? And when it's the rainy season, you might want to go out and take a little walk. You understand? So don't let it stop you. Don't let it stop you. Do it in spite of this. So Tommy, this is our first Georgia,
Just under.
Ram Calawan, Georgia. Where's Georgia
Let's
from?
see if we can get the name right. Jassandra.
No, it's Georgia. No, that's Jassodra.
Jassodra.
Right, Georgia. Ram Calawan.
Or shall we say Jassodra?
Yeah, you could say that too. Where are you joining us from? I know you've been with us before, but we just want to know. She was first in the village tonight. Then our good buddy Dane Khan, he says good afternoon, good evening, Wall Street and Uncle Tommy.
Same to you, Dane.
Just says the PNM people feel like everything is going very good in TNT. I know, joke,
Yeah, as far as they're concerned, everything is wonderful.
Everything is splendid for us, man. 2 other people got kidnapped. What? 2 other people were kidnapped and killed. Hey, look, we partner Bijram, boy. Bijram, where you going?
Bijram, welcome home.
Yeah, good day, Uncle Tommy and Wall Street. All listen to their menu. Sada roti with Edo's choker. A glass of sorrel to wash it down. Edo's. I know Edo's, though. I know Edo's.
Mm-hmm.
What Edo's do you mash it up? You kind of mash it up, sort of? And you put salt in it?
You cook it in the same way you will cook potato.
But it's choker. Is that choker?
Yeah.
You have to put saltfish and thing in it and oil and thing?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Now, we just use the arrows, just the arrows.
You don't need to put no saltfish in it.
But if it's a choker, don't you have to put something else in it?
You think it wouldn't choke if you don't put nothing else in it?
Yeah, it can't be an arrows choker if it's just arrows alone.
Well, Bijram will have to let us know what he does when he makes it, because everybody have their own style of doing things.
Okay. And a glass of sorrel to wash it down. I thought sorrel was only around Christmas time.
No, man, you could drink sorrel all year round.
Oh, you could drink sorrel all year round now?
Don't those people in the red party drink sorrel all year round?
When party come in, you gotta ask you that. I didn't used to drink no sorrel all year round. But Tommy, it's interesting that you say that, eh? Growing up in Trinidad, Ria's welcome. Blessed night to all, she says. Georgia said, I'm from Quarry, Paria.
Yeah, Quarry Village.
Quarry Village. Tommy,
yeah.
I think I must have went to Paria 2 or 3 times in my life. Paria nice. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, I used to pass there every single day when I went to school, because I went to school in Palaseco.
And you had to pass there?
Yeah.
What did I go down there for, boy?
When you went to the games in Palaseco.
Oh, yeah. That was a. Oh, you know what? You know, you're right. But I didn't know I was passing there.
Okay.
So almost every year I used to go to the Palo Seco games. Every year.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
they used to call it Tesoro at that time.
Yeah, well,
Right,
yeah, yeah. Tesoro. At one point, it was Tesoro before it became Petrotron.
right. But P&M killed that. They killed that. Yeah. And you know, that feel is no more, Tommy. That nice
I
feel, right?
I passed there the last time I was in Trinidad, and it looked deplorable.
Boy,
But I understand that sun had turned and they cut some ribbon or dig some hole, say they go in and do it over. But I don't know where that reached. I think that was more. I think that was more hype than actual work.
yeah, I feel they might do something before the next election come. I feel
Well,
so. They might,
guess what? There's
yeah.
a lot of things to get done before the next election comes.
But they might cut a ribbon. You know, to do nothing. They could just cut a ribbon.
Because, because I mean, if they want to win, which they do, they're gonna come up with a bunch of EGs that hopefully would excite the voting public again. Hopefully, the public will be wise.
But Tommy, you had to tell the people what EGs, they might think it's that example. EG's example.
Well, they're gonna find out eventually.
Nah, you had to tell them, man, you're going to find out. We won't wait that long for them to know.
Yeah, we ain't gonna keep them. We ain't keep them waiting too long.
All right. We ain't going to keep
We'll
them
keep
waiting.
their attention well before we tell them.
All right. So Tommy, me ask this. Since we're talking about Edos, right? Now, growing up in Chumacat, we only used to drink sorrel and ginger beer around Christmas time.
Hmm.
We couldn't afford sorrel and ginger beer no other time. Christmas time. That was the only time. And that was the only time we make sweet bread and we make cake. No other time. Right? Was it like that all across Trinidad and Tobago? Is that only during Christmas time you drink sorrel and ginger beer?
Well, that's the time mostly you drink it. But there
Or
are
was it
people
always
who drink it sparingly or sometimes lavishly throughout the year. Depends on
oh
where
it,
they
it,
are.
it just didn't used to happen in Chumacac.
Nah, probably not in Chumaka.
But Tommy, you used to drink ginger beer and sorrel outside of Christmas. So you had it
Hardly
different.
ever.
Hmm? Huh?
Hardly ever. There's a Christmas drink. That's that time of year drink.
So Dane can't said it have dry sorrel now. You could have drink it all. You could drink it all year long. But back then, Dane, it didn't have no dry sorrel.
Back then we used to do fresh sorrel.
Yeah, back then it's fresh sorrel, but you had to go down in the market, buy your sorrel, and come home and peel it,
Clean it. Yeah.
clean it. Yeah, that's how it used to go. You know, no dry sorrel back then. And Tommy, I I wouldn't be surprised to know if most of the sorrel coming from China now.
I don't know. See, I don't know why it should. We have good soil. We have good.
Cheap, cost, cost, cost. That's why. Yeah, cost.
But the sorrel that we just buy here from Joe's, which is the same Korean shop, that's Caribbean sorrel.
You sure about that?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I ain't sure about that because China making everything now.
Yeah.
All right.
How?
So you see, just said Edo's choker made with Edo's garlic, pepper, onion, and shadow benny. Yeah, I
Right.
don't. Yeah.
No meat.
No, maybe you could put saltfish in it too. I don't know.
I don't know.
The shorter you just put saltfish in it too. When I hear choke, I mean I kind of yeah. Miss Atlanta, welcome. She says, "Good evening, Wall Street. Tommy, blessings always." Yeah,
Same to you, my dear lady.
yeah. Joan, welcome. Good evening, Uncle Tommy on Wall Street. Look how that's the first time I see somebody abbreviated that way, you know, Tommy. Look how John abbreviated.
Hmm.
You,
Hmm.
Tommy, and W Street.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah,
It's nice.
that's a nice abbreviation there. Mr. Intellectual say good night, Pro and Uncle T, all villagers. I hope you all had an awesome day as I did. Tommy, let me ask you a question. Growing up in Trinidad and Tobago, what was your favorite dish? If you had to pick one favorite dish, what was that? Just one.
Hmm. What did I like, boy? I always like fish broth.
Fish broth?
Yeah.
Okay, fish broth. So that used to have like dumpling and thing in it, or no? Or no?
Well, that who does make with dumpling, but I don't care to have dumpling. I just like some good green fig,
Mm.
some okras, probably a piece of yam,
Mm.
even dasheen.
Mm. Well, growing up in Chumakak, my favorite dish was
Those.
corned beef and rice.
Mm.
Corned beef and rice, yeah, corned beef and rice. That is it. That, and that corned beef, Tommy, is like 5,000 milligrams of salt. And
Well, well,
corned beef, corned beef is like they used to make that from all the remains, right?
I don't know. Maybe,
That was like
maybe,
God.
maybe they need to substitute other meat too for beef.
But I was telling you that might have been guts, ears, toes, eyes, and all kind of thing. And they put one set of sodium in there, and it tastes real good, boy. Imagine you have a little corned beef with some rice, Tommy, boy. Good. Yeah. Corned beef, boy. You think it's easy, boy? Look, Caribbean say corned beef and rice is my favorite also. Corned beef is gold now. What do you mean by that? It hard to get?
And I was never really crazy about corned beef.
Yeah, I like corned beef and rice, boy. Good corned beef and rice. Ban Meha, welcome. How are you?
Greetings,
Um,
Bambi.
Caribbean Soul say Washington, Trinidad, that time of the year you actually get sorrel to buy, unless it's artificial sorrel drinks. Yeah. Tommy, you remember we used to have Juicy in Trinidad? Juicy?
Of
Sweet drink?
course. Yeah, juicy.
I used to be a real good drink, and it was in a tall bottle.
Oh yeah,
You remember?
of course.
Some of them
And
people ain't gonna know about that, Some people
remember
ain't gonna know.
solo in the short fat bottle?
Say that again.
Solo
So there was this smaller bottle.
was it, well, fat bottle.
Yeah, a fat bottle. Now they have a little bottle. And then that fella come on, man, Chubby. Then Chubby come with the
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bottle. Remember that?
But shall we come when we leave Trinidad?
Yeah. Right when we leave Trinidad. That was by SM Jalil. But you know,
Yeah,
that drink all over the world, It's all over the world that has been. I think I even see that in a Dollar Tree store too. Chubby.
no
Yes.
surprise.
So Caribbean so say you could put saltfish, but it would just be called Edo saltfish. Edo saltfish choker. Yeah. But you could call bulljaw choker too, right?
No buljol is buljol.
Why you can't call it a choker?
I don't know to be a joker.
But
Maybe
saltfish, tomatoes, onions, garlic. That could be a choker too.
I don't know. Maybe somebody could enlighten us, but I never know buljol to be a joker.
Mm. Yeah, just sort of. You're right. I run in Southern Games. Southern Games used to be a big thing, boy, Tommy.
Are you telling me I remember from Marbella?
Boy, Southern Games, boy, I couldn't wait. I never forget, boy, I run Southern Games for Trinidad and Tobago one year, boy. And They wanted to suspend me from Trinidad and Tobago because I didn't bring back the shirt. The Trinidad and Tobago shirt. I go bring that picture for you one time. I still have a picture. Tommy, when I run for Trinidad and Tobago that time, I went down in a photo store on George Street in Port of Spain and take picture with the Trinidad and Tobago shirt. I go bring that picture and show you. I had to bring that picture. But I the first time I run for Trinidad, man.
How did you perform?
Eh?
How did you do?
I remember, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that one. All I know, I run.
Say no more.
Yeah. I run.
You also ran.
Yeah, I also ran. Caribbean still say corned beef is my favorite. Corned beef expensive now, $22 in a tin now. Oh, Tommy, you know what I want to do tonight, Tommy? Tommy, let me ask you a question. And I want to ask the people in chat. Is certain food more expensive in the United States or more expensive in Trinidad and Tobago?
You'd have to do the conversion to determine.
No. I asked them to give me the conversion. Overall, who do you think will you think Trinidad will be cheaper, right? You would think?
Well, certain foods in the United States, once you do the conversion, it's going to be more expensive. For example, fish.
Yeah.
I think fish is going to be more expensive in the United States.
Okay. Let me see this. I wonder if I copy that, boy. So, folks, at the top of the hour, we have Karen Nunes Shishera coming up. Let me see if I did this, Tommy. Let me see something. Oh, I didn't copy it. No, I did not copy it. Let me see. Let me see if it's still up there. Oh God, it's gone. Let me see if I still have it here. Oh, here we go. Okay, here it is. So I asked for food prices between Trinidad and the US, right? So a meal at an expensive restaurant, at an inexpensive restaurant in the US will cost $20, 20 US dollars. We did the calculation, and in Trinidad it will cost $8.84. A McDonald's combo meal will cost $11 in the US. This is USA, folks, and $7.37 in Trinidad.
And this is all US dollars we're talking here.
Yeah, this is all US dollars. In maybe these are average prices too. A domestic beer, 1 pint draft beer in the US costs $6. In Trinidad and Tobago, it costs $1.77. Imported beer, 12-ounce, small bottle. In the US, it costs $7. In Trinidad and Tobago, it's $2.95. Cappuccino regular in the US costs $5.16. In Trinidad and Tobago, it costs $3.65. Coke slash Pepsi, 12-ounce small bottle. In the US, it costs $2.53. In Trinidad and Tobago, it costs $1 or $1.01. Water, 12-ounce small bottle. In the US, it costs $2.05. In Trinidad and Tobago, it costs 80 cents. Milk. In the US, it costs $3.99. In Trinidad and Tobago, it costs $8.74. Milk. Milk more expensive in Trinidad. A loaf of white bread, 1 pound. In the US, it costs $3.25. In Trinidad and Tobago, it costs $2.14. Chicken fillet, 1 pound. In the US, it costs $5.47. In Trinidad and Tobago, it costs $3.87. Sugar, 1 pound. In the US, it costs 65 cents. In Trinidad and Tobago, it costs 50 cents. Flour, 1 pound. In the USA, it costs 50 cents a pound. In Trinidad and Tobago, it costs 40 cents a pound. Rice, white, 1 pound. In the US, it costs $2.08 a pound. In Trinidad and Tobago, it costs $1.23 a pound. A loaf of fresh white bread, 1 pound. In the US, it costs $3.25. In Trinidad and Tobago, it costs $2.14. Water, 12-ounce small bottle. In the US, it costs $2.05. In Trinidad and Tobago, it costs 80 cents. Eggs, regular, 12. In the US, it costs $3.71. In Trinidad and Tobago, it costs $4.05. So that tells us, Tommy, that
Milk and eggs are more expensive in Trinidad and Tobago.
yes, milk and eggs are more expensive in Trinidad and Tobago. And all the other items are more expensive
In the
United
US.
States of America. That makes sense, right?
So far.
Yeah, that makes sense. But some people will say that things are more expensive in Trinidad than it is in the US. Yeah. You know, just rather, I think Sorellas go. I don't know if Sorellas only go around Christmas though. I think it grew earlier in the year too as well. Carice, welcome. I hope that is Carice. Because sometimes when people are Steve. Yeah. Yeah, we did velodrome down there was nice, boy. Yes. When I used to drink solo, boy, solo was real good. Robert says, good night. A routine TT costs $30. In the US, it costs $15. So it's less expensive in TNT. A routine costs $15 in Trinidad?
He's saying in the US it's $15. It's so much for a roti over here, right?
We're here?
He's saying Trinidad is $30 for a roti.
Isn't that cheap though?
30 TT is what? $5 US or
Well,
four something US.
let me just say, if you round it up to $7, or you could say $5.
Say
If you say,
4
yeah, roti up here expensive, man. Roti no joke. Roti up here expensive. Caribbean, so Robert, you can't really compare Trinidad food in the US. Remember, Trinidad, you look in the bus price on their head and make money.
Take money.
Yeah. Or you change it to make.
Mm-hmm.
How much are roti cost by Cynthia's? I don't know, you know.
Wow.
I know I went to Lime. I was Lyman's or what's that woman name again, boy?
Sally.
Sarah.
Sarah,
Yes, Sarah.
which is Trinidad.
So Joshua said she thinks guys things are more expensive in TNT.
Only milk and eggs.
Yeah, the research doesn't say that. You know. Only milk and eggs. But you know what's TNT import bill, Tommy? It's like 7 billion TT, you know.
Not surprised.
7 billion, you know.
Yep.
But I hear the Minister of Finance in an interview with Rhoda Barrett, and the things he was saying, Trinidad could be in great difficulties to me. He stated it, and we go play the video that Trinidad running out of gas. And they're dependent on getting gas from Venezuela.
Yep.
And if, when the new president comes in, they look at Venezuela in a different direction,
Couple spoke with pipe.
boy, you're being generous. And not only that, Tommy,
They're
this
gonna
Kenyan government have no intention of diversifying the economy. None, absolutely none.
But further to that, the US gonna start depending on local resources. They're gonna go back to fracking and all that.
So I ain't getting them wrong. Well, fracking does serve the environment, though.
Well, you know these guys don't care about the environment.
Yeah, they does serve the environment. But Tommy, if that's why you hear the Prime Minister saying diversification. They have no interest. Well, let me not say no interest. Their focus is on oil and gas. And from a gas perspective, they are dependent on Venezuela. What is that one? Wall Street. That Jennifer Frederick lady is Jenny who just called Sharon and Juju show that the union talk about. They don't want her. They don't want to hear her. Yeah, I mean, them. Yeah, I just showed us some places roti cost
$30.
You know why I just go and buy roti when I go to Trinidad? It have a place on it's Mokorapa Road. What is it called again, boy? Hosine? Is it Hosine, boy? You ever went down there, Tommy? It have a place down on Mokorapa Road.
I'm not sure.
You from up in the country. So.
I'll be everywhere, I'll be all over.
But you going down and buy roti?
Well, I don't buy roti like I used to, as much as I used to, because I kind of take a break from the white flour kind of way.
Yeah, I since I get into the vegan thing, I kind of stopped eating doubles too, Every time I go to Trinidad, boss.
Once in a blue moon, you break the rules,
Yeah. Why I haven't broken the rules in a long time. Oh, Errol, thanks. Hot shop. There we go. Thanks, man. Hot shop. That is the place I used to go. Hot shop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I find boy them used to make, and them mango boy. They had a side mango, boy. Real good, boy. Real good.
Yeah,
Hot
I know where
shop.
Hot Shop is. One of my partners like there.
Yeah, we liked it too bad, boy. Love it too bad. Anyway, go to Trinidad. Had to go down there. Yeah, Mr. Intellectual.
Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
I come in a little bit,
That's all right.
I hear all the talking about the environment and thing.
Yeah.
And the good time, the sports and thing that always play and thing.
Correct.
Today I had a interest in the sense that I took some time out for myself and I went fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a little tough outside there, but it was good. It gave me a little insight into a little more stuff that we could concentrate on. You know that You ever took a good look at our coastline?
Nah,
Not
no, not me. Tommy, you did?
that have
Oh yeah, several times.
a multi-million-dollar industry. If you had the right marketing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
know,
Mr.
Yeah, bro. If you see the kind of coastline that we have, there are no beaches, but the coastline itself, how it actually designed, how it make up, ecotourism.
Yeah.
One of the most fascinating things
Correct.
for people
Yeah.
all over the world. If you have a boat big enough to hold 100 people or 200 people, and I hit them at 3 hours tour
Yeah.
on our coastline, right? Let me say you're charging one person $50 a head,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
The US dollars are talking about, foreigners.
Yeah.
People coming in to see our stuff. We have things to market that we ain't really thinking about as yet,
Correct.
Simple things, Even our fishing industry, we could make a mint out of that.
But
if we treat it properly.
Correct.
What do you think?
Just to begin, Mr. Intellectual, did you catch anything?
Oh yeah, I did.
What you pull up?
Where you catch? All right, he reconnecting.
Hello?
Yeah, you was reconnecting. Where you catch?
Uncle T.
Where you catch? Yeah, yeah.
I catch a racando. I catch
A what?
a redfish.
Rancadol.
No.
Say that again?
A racando.
What is that?
A fish.
It's something similar to a crow.
Oh, okay.
It's
Nah.
fish.
What else?
Yeah, there are about 4. One the redfish was about 5 or 6 pounds.
That's nice size, man.
3 pounds. The salmon and them was about a 2 pound.
You get salmon too?
Yeah. Yeah, you get some Chefwood salmon.
So where did you go, in the Atlantic or on the Caribbean side?
Up on the north coast.
On the North Coast. Yeah. Nice,
Yes.
nice. Nice.
We didn't hold much. It had plenty catfish and thing too. We held some catfish and some fishing and some other kind moonshine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But fishing is good therapy though.
Sorry?
Fishing is good therapy.
Oh yes, it is.
You get
It's
good time to think. Wow.
Yeah. And to put things in perspective,
Yep. While you doing your thing, you're thinking.
Hey, Mr. Intellectual, let me take this call. This is our guest. Let me take this call. All right? This is our guest. Thank you. Yeah, man. Bless. So when you may take this, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, as we approach the top of the hour, let me see what time it is now. We are 2 minutes away from 7 o'clock. As we approach the top of the hour, we're going to have a special guest tonight. Lady Karen Nunes-Teixeira. And we're going to get into some heavy discussions with her. So meanwhile, you can start penciling the things that you want to discuss and the things that are on your mind. I know there's a lot on a lot of minds at this time because people are wondering what's next, especially with what has happened in the United States since we have this new president. I mean, there are a lot of different descriptives that are being used to describe him, his posture, his style of governance. But it's all left to be seen. And hopefully whatever happens will help us to improve our lot, because we need to put our best feet forward. Especially at this time. Yes, indeed. It's a different day, different time. But the journey still continues. The struggle continues. It's real. It's more real than ever now than it has ever been, especially with the second go around with MAGA. We have an emergency coming up, use of the military for deportation. I think that's the focus that he's putting out there. We'll see what happens with that. So it's only a matter of time. We have approached the top of the hour. Top of the hour. This is WZYE, broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey. You're in the village with Professor Wall Street and me, Uncle Tommy, and you.
So, Tommy, you can go for the break. I gotta send this link to Karen. Okay, you can go for the break.
Right.
All right.
All right. So we'll do the break. Let me queue up for the break.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE LP 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
Trinidad, to leave here, boy, you must be mad. This is the land of milk and honey, rum and coke and easy money. While those verses we were singing, alarm bells kept on ringing, pundits on each pulpit saying, our heart and our soul decaying. Suddenly we wake up to a living nightmare, a place while editorials ask, how did we ever come to this? But so long we hear it, you got to stand up and be counted. our school kids getting on. We're fighting, making porn. Our school girls, you won't believe. Live MMA, they pulling weave. Check the vibes, they're living by. Dance all slackness, get rich or die. Alkaline to Movado. Mention maestro, they don't know. No morals, no ethics. There is a centrifugal black hole. Lord, we must move quick to wake their conscience and save their soul. So long we've been hearing evil triumphs when good men do nothing. No triggers pump while words be frotting, and while church attendance real low. Protest back plus them casino, while black market prices haggling. Through a port with big guns they smuggling. Spanish women are hot like their music. Saucy salsa, human traffic Trinidad. We can't wait. The devil making hay while we sleep. Tell them talk is cheap. We're caught in the world when we have to reap. While we look on them as more mothers who weep. We're caught in the world when we have to reap. Oh yeah. Oh no. Busy street, yes, in our city. Killed by beasts who show no pity. Now there's fear and trepidation. What is happening to our nation? So I pray this one infraction will propel us into action. Trinidad, the time is now. We have to take our country back while these monsters flow. We cannot run from their attack. That is why I'm still saying time to stand up and be counted. Our young girls, they're being hunted, not for jobs by institutions, but by clubs for prostitution. While for new gas, some arranging on the seas, cargo exchanging in the Gulf, drugs, guns, and women, and the Coast Guard cannot stop them. Trinidad, the time is now. Look how the murder rate leap, tell them talk is cheap. We're caught in the world when we have to reap. Before more of our daughters, they put us to sleep. Must stop this world when we have to reap. Time to stand up and be counted. We must defeat this threat they've mounted. We cannot wait for no messiah. Like zero fiddling through the fire. But while the flames we keep romancing, the grim reaper keeps advancing across the land. It casts the shadow, flashing victims to the marrow. Trinidad, the time is now. Look how the price we paying don't steep. While some labor keep. We're caught in the world when we have to reap. We need a fresh new broom for a broad crime sweep. Must stop this world when we have to reap. Save our land, Trinidad and Tobago.
And of course, we are back with you. It's In the Village with Uncle Tommy, Professor Walshit, and you on WZYE 95.9 FM. And of course, Tommy, you know we're trying to save Trinidad and Tobago. We're trying to save Trinidad and Tobago from America.
So that's all we ever do. And we've been doing that since day one.
That's from day one. We're trying to save. We're trying to save it. PNM Fox, we're trying to save Trinidad and Tobago. We're trying. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget Sherry Live, WZYE 95.9 FM on Facebook and X. Subscribe, WZYE TV and YouTube. And you can reach us here at 973-868-1444. That's 973-868-1444.
Also at 973-609-6509, 973-609-6509. Text and voice notes are welcome. Remember that these are WhatsApp numbers, so it's free 99.
And before we bring in Mrs. Karen Una Shishera, I want to read a comment from a person here. We just call him PNM Fox. And Karen, I think you can hear this as well. But let me bring you in. Let me bring you in, Karen. Let me bring in Karen. Of
Good
course,
evening,
let me say
everyone.
welcome to Mrs.
Welcome,
Karen
welcome.
Lewis Shearer.
Long time, long time
No
I haven't
stranger
been on the
in the
show. I'm happy
village.
to be on. Yes, we're in
No,
the village.
yes, Karen, how are you?
Welcome.
I'm doing fine, following the politics, as I call it.
Yeah, well, it's always fantastic. But before we get into the crux of what we want to talk about tonight, how are things going with you and your party?
Well, we have our strategy. And I think in terms of what is going on in the country, that uh, it has a very, very good opportunity for hope to make not only an impact, but it doesn't matter. An impact doesn't matter if you don't win a seat, right? So therefore, you're looking at being part of the parliament. I don't think we expect to win as either the UNC or PNM, the kind of seats you're looking at. But we certainly feel that there's room for hope, given the current situation, especially with Tobago up in the air. And the PNM, I don't know under Dr. Rowley's position, but certainly PNM has always had a position that they'll go it alone. And all signals are if they do not have those two Tobago seats, which was critical to the election results in last national election in 2020, with the 122-19, if they do not have those two Tobago seats, and we're looking at a situation where the majority that's necessary won't be there. So we are looking at a change in the whole, I think, potentially in the national election. And I think Pope has a place to play, and we are going to play that part in that whole environment that we find ourselves in today. So yes, so look out for hope. I don't want to say too much. Election time, as we get closer, we've been having meetings and so on. And as we progress, we will focus on what we're going to focus on. Let me just say very, very quickly to end on that is I think what is the missing on both sides of the equation. I don't think anyone could argue. And if one is more minded to support the PNM as a party that has longevity, a party that brought us into independence, with a number of things that one could see about the PNM as a party, the problem and the issue that we are facing on both sides of the equation, as you see in your own United States of America, is a question of the leadership. And I think that is what is the crisis point. And for the PNM, it's definitely a crisis of leadership, not only about the leader himself, but his team.
But Karen, just before we get to that, right? A person put a comment in the chat, right? And this is what the person says. The person said, the time it takes to diversify an economy depends on a number of factors, including the country's existing economic structure, its capabilities, and the state of its institution. However, in general, economic diversification is a complex process that can take a long time. How long has the PNM run Trinidad and Tobago? I'm just asking. I don't.
But I mean, the PNM has run Trinidad and Tobago, so let's just be fair. They brought us into independence in 1962, but that really, I mean, how long did it take to set point this industrial estate? How long did it set up the Atlantic LNG? If you're going to go down that kind of argument, then anything of a macro state where it involves changing the economic results that we have been seeing, continuous fiscal deficit, which means that for every year except for 2022, because of the Ukraine Russian war, we have run huge deficits, meaning that our expenditure has far been more than the revenue projected, which means that they've got to raise the money by borrowing and borrowing, which means they don't have the money in order, or the currency, the revenue, to invest in diversification. It is not going to, what you can't say is that in 10 years, you do not have to be a Sina Gonzalez, you do not have to have a crystal ball to know that the what we have been depending on in the energy sector, which is more natural gas and oil, is not only volatile in terms of price, and we are not price makers, we are price takers. We're not big enough in the dance, so we have to respond to whatever the price is in the geopolitical world that we're living in. But more importantly, and no one can argue with that. The Prime Minister won't argue with that, or we want to, but he can't. The fact of the matter, and because he is on record as he has, and if you go to the Ministry of Energy, so the central bank, because the Ministry of Energy doesn't carry too much information, but you go to the central bank, who got the information from them, we need at least 4.1 billion cubic feet of natural gas per day in order to satisfy the Atlantic LNG, which is, by the way, takes the lion's share of the natural gas, which is like sending cocoa to the country rather than chocolates. The smaller percentage goes to the petrochemical and downstream industries, which is Point Lisas, which is where the chocolate is made, if for want of a better example. So, in a way, we're giving away. I mean, I've had Dr. Justin Ram, an economist, come on. His father worked in the in Point-de-Paix refinery. He lived there, and he says the LNG at one point in time that was great, because in 2008, when Mr. Manning was in government, I was a minister then. America was importing 80% of its LNG requirements from Trinidad for cleaner gas for its buses and so on. Today, America is a net exporter of LNG. The whole situation has changed, but more importantly, it's not just the price, production on every single level. So we cannot sit by. We do not have the luxury. Dubai did not have the luxury. Mauritius did not have the luxury. Singapore did not have the luxury. China, which is one of the biggest players a few years ago, they were nothing. They were one of the poorest countries in the world. India does not have the luxury. That's what government is about. What you got to do is start. And did they start? Not once have I seen them make any real meaningful effort to create. We're not talking about diversification, because the word can be very misleading. We're looking for something, some sector to earn foreign exchange, because we import nearly every single thing in Trinidad. Every single thing. Medicine, cars, clothes, food. Our food bill is 7.3 billion, from 5 billion a few years ago to 7.3 billion a year. So if you do, and nobody wants our money, that's like monopoly money. And so if you are not making foreign exchange, if you are not creating sectors like Jamaica depends a lot on its tourism sector, as does Barbados. We have so many opportunities in this country to diversify. So sit down there. You are not running a mom and pop shop. How could you expect a mom and pop shop to get then in the next year to start building? If you go to build your own house, it take a year. But what you've got to do, you have 10 years and you have done nothing. And that is why we are in the position we are today, where the foreign exchange has dropped. That's central bank figures, It's not currency share figures, Right? It's not my figures, You could argue with central bank, right? Who, by the way, when he has a 3-year contract instead of 5 years, that's another point. But the foreign exchange reserves in 2015 was 10 point something billion. You know what it is now? About 5.6. And you know what the central bank governor had to do in May or June of this year? Because it has started sliding down so fast. He had to inject 500 million. You know what the minister had to be doing to meet his, and by the way, this money that they are, where's this foreign exchange going? Why is it in the position it is? Well, because we don't have anything except the energy sector, which in every area there is, the production has fallen. Our production now is about 2.4 billion cubic feet per day. So, and it's not today you found that out. Nearly every single time that Minister of Finance read the budget, he would talk about the volatility of gas and energy prices, and that is why, he understood. The country understands that. A little child could understand that.
But Karen, you know what makes it, and I want you to comment on it, and we're going to talk about what you actually come here for. But this person just put some P&M propaganda in the chat.
That's all right.
I don't call it P&M. I don't call it P&M because, as far as I'm concerned, it seems like P&M have a propaganda machine.
That's all right.
But Karen, what's important to note is that this 2.4 billion cubic feet, even the Minister of Finance admit that they need about 4 billion cubic feet, and they are putting their eggs in the Venezuela basket.
Right. I'm so glad you brought that up. Okay, so let's deal with that. And that is why we're going on. But at the end of the day, it's all about education. And I try to be very careful and responsible, because I neither yellow or red. I am a great supporter of Patrick Manning, and I have never deviated from that. So you can take that to how you want to take that. Okay? Because he was a leader. So to get to your question, if the Prime Minister himself said that in 2019, he went on record as saying, optimally, we should have 4.9 billion cubic feet per day. But we have had 4.1 billion. But right now, if he used the words, very strong language, to say Trinidad is in serious trouble unless we are able to increase our natural gas production by 2.4, 2.5 billion cubic feet per day. So where is it coming from? So you talk about Venezuela. So I want to make that clear. This is one of the issues I have with this current minister. I find him, I understand as a politician, I do understand as a politician, and quite apart from being a politician, a responsibility to the country that you don't want to be a Debbie Downer. And you certainly don't want to come across as you don't know what you're doing. Things are really bad, because what keeps an economy going, and as we know, the financial sector, is confidence. And so it's important that he does provide the country with a sense of confidence. But there's a line between giving the confidence and not being transparent or being upfront with the population to understand what Jamaica had to understand, and was able to cut their debt in half. Their debt is the same as ours now, right? Because they themselves recognize enough is enough, and they did what they had to do. So I'm straight from the point. So let us go to where you're asking about Venezuela. Understand that there are 3 gas fields that are really involved Venezuela. 2 of them are what they call cross-border. One of them is Laura and Manatee, where most of the natural gas resides, over 70%, trillions of cubic feet of natural gas. That is in the Venezuela side. And then in Manatee is in our waters. Then that is Shell. And then there's BPTT, which I never can pronounce it right. Something Coquina, never pronounce it right.
The Coquina. Yeah.
Right. So again, another cross-border. BPTT, they have been able to separate the Venezuelan side from the Trinidad side, and they have made a final investment decision with regard to monetizing the natural gas in the Coquina gas field, as Shell did with Manatee. Okay, but most of the gas, at least in Manatee, is not Lauren Manatee is on the Lauren Venezuelan side. The one that the government put all their eggs in one basket, so to speak, and they themselves projected it. They have to take responsibility, because I went back and read articles, just to make sure that I'm not being unfair. They themselves projected Dragonfield as going to be the savior for Trinidad and Tobago, because they would give us the natural gas that we did not have. Well, there are a number of things to that, and I went to PDVSA, I never pronounced it correctly. But since 2011, from their old report, they could go and look it up, because I went and look it up before I came on your show. And in 2011, according to them, maybe they're exaggerating, I cannot say, but what they were saying is a lot of the exploration, a lot of the infrastructural work, 91% of it had been completed. That is what they said. That's what they said in 2011. But what the real issue is with Dragonfield, and I've said it so many times, but I'll say it again, the license that Venezuela has granted us is different from the OFAC license for Venezuela. Venezuela has ENI from Spain, Repsol from Italy, operating in their waters and in their oil business, and they've been doing it for years, going back years and years and years. And America cannot interfere with that, because it goes back. There's a whole rationale for that. When it comes to the Dragonfield is all in Venezuela's water. and it is 17 kilometers off the coast of the Hibiscus platform, which is in Trinidad waters, owned by Shell. And NGC owns all the pipelines with the intention of taking the vast majority, at least 60%, I think it's even more than that, of that natural gas to LNG for Shell, which is like selling cocoa to England instead of selling chocolates, which is why Dr. Ram said, even the LNG, you're not too happy about, but that is the reality. But it is not the license, the 30-year license, because Venezuela is in real problems. America has blocked up all of their accounts. America, whether you agree with it or not, fights you by sanctions. One of their preferred weapons of war is sanctions. And what they have done to Venezuela after trying the maximum pressure to get rid of Maduro and put in Guaido, and that failed, and realized that the army remained loyal to him, the OFAC is the key thing. OFAC is the Office of Fixed Assets Control. That is one of the offices that it's an American office, and they use sanctions to ensure compliance. Mm-hmm. So, this is the key, in order for Shell investors and for Shell to be willing to enter, to monetize, make the final investment decision, like it did with Manatee, which is in our waters only, not in Venezuela waters, it's in our waters only, because they separated it, although it's a lesser amount. In order for Shell to make that the final investment decision, which the minister keeps talking a certain thing about, they're doing work, they're doing this work, that work, that is not the reason. You know that is not the reason. The reason is that OFAC originally under Biden gave a license that they could not pay Venezuela with cash or fiat, but pay them in kind. And that's when a lot of these small countries like Dr. Anthony Nazar said that's another neo-colonialism, and et cetera, which was really, I think, fair. So they gave another license, a 2-year license. That 2-year license, which they also gave, they gave another 2 years. They gave a 2-year license for Dragonfield. It's coming to an end on October the 31st next year, less than a year. And Shell has not made any decision, because they are not going to make the decision, because Shell is on record. I'm not making this up. Go and read the papers yourself. Go to read it yourself. Shell requested from OFAC a 15-year license because it doesn't make sense to them to go into this multi-billion-dollar investment and only get an assurance of 2 years that they could, instead of getting paying Venezuela in kind, that 2-year license allow them to pay in cash. But you have to do the drilling, you have to do all the work that is necessary to do that. And Shell will not agree to make it because they have been refused by OFAC under Biden the 15-year license. Now, under Trump, you think it's going to be any better? And yet the minister keeps on talking. It's like how he told us a train one was alive and well on CNN. He went on CNN and said that foolishness, knowing very well that BP and Shell said, listen, Shell, that train one closed down over a year now. But he gone on international television and talking about the 4 trains. And he knew that could not be the truth, right? So now he keeps on talking about work they're doing and this work they're doing at Dragadi. Let him answer the OFAC question. Let him answer why. And he's saying Shell hasn't made, you know why? But Shell made the final investment decision with Manatee. Why they made it so fast? Because Manatee's in our waters. America is not fighting us. They are fighting Venezuela. They are fighting Maduro. They want Maduro out. They want Machado, who is pro-America, pro-capitalist, to take over. But she has been banned. The Supreme Court, just like how they have a Supreme Court loaded with Republican Supreme Court judges, right? Well, so does Maduro. So when she went to court, They told her she could not participate in any national elections for 15 years, right? So they put up another man, a man called Gonzalez, who had to flee the country and go to Spain. What is that telling you? What are you telling the country about Dragonfield? Why are you continuing to spend this thing? The other thing he's not saying, but you have to read it. I think it's Central Bank. I got information from, which they had to get from the Ministry of Energy. Even when they start production, and that goes to all these gas fields, but let's say Dragonfield and Manatee, I know for those two, the initial production will be about 150 million cubic feet per day. And it will take a few years, according to their own data, a few years, they didn't say how many those few years are, to reach the 350 million cubic feet, 300 of which would go to Atlantic LNG, go out of our country as cocoa. And the other 50 will go to the downstream industry. That's the truth. I'm not making this up. And you listen, whoever wants to be a PNM and close their eyes and put their head in the sand, go ahead and put your head in the sand. But what I'm saying is factual.
So Karen, what you're basically trying to say to the people is that what you are getting from the Minister of Finance is pie in the sky.
No, Minister of Energy, yeah, just the Minister, both of them.
Because the Minister of Finance talks about that they need 4 billion cubic feet of gas, and they're only getting right now at 2.4 billion cubic feet.
But that's true. But I've been saying that for long. They've been saying that for quite a while.
Right. Mm-hmm. And what he said is that they are dependent on these fields in Venezuela in order to make up from 2.4 to 4 billion. But when you look at, go ahead.
No. I have to be very careful. All right. And this is what I will say. The situation in the context of the politics, because you see, it's politics really at play now. It is politics at play right now, and an national election coming up next year, right? So, what I find it very curious that the Minister of Finance is being so transparent about something that makes the Minister of Energy not look good at all.
Correct. Karen, I ask myself that question too. I see him on a program, and the kind of talking. I saying, but like he's throwing the PNM under the bus.
No, he's not throwing the PNM under the bus. But yes, he's probably throwing. Okay, I will retract that. And I have good reason.
Under the bus.
And I will tell you, I have good reason, because remember, I was inside the belly of the beast, and whether for like it or not, I was the Minister of Finance, and I enjoyed a very good professional relationship with the Prime Minister, who trusted me, who had confidence in me. So if he had that, I learned never to be in a clique, never to open my mouth, nothing to say that I say. Nobody could say, if they had it every time they had a Monday night meeting, how much thing they would have bust on my head? Why they can't bust anything? Because they have nothing. But maybe they don't want to hear from me. So what I will say is this. Right now, I think the situation, what he's saying is, I don't know why he's saying it, actually. I don't know why he's saying it, because it's like throwing the Minister of Energy and saying he knows the Minister of Energy. When you talk about Venezuelan waters, they already have separated. The Prime Minister came up about 2 years ago and said that we have decided to go it alone with the Lauren Manatee and separate the Lauren from the Manatee. The Lauren has 70-something% most of the natural gas. Dragonfield has 4.3 trillion cubic feet of gas. But as I told you, all the reasons, OFAC is an issue, plus even when they start, it's going to take a long time to build up, and it still will not satisfy the needs. Similarly, the Lauren Manatee, because the Manatee is so small, what you talk about Venezuela? Venezuela has been taken out of the picture with the two cross-border, which is where we were looking to get gas. And with the Dragonfield, Shell won't make that decision. And I'm not saying it can't happen. Pigs could fly too. I am not saying that Mr. Trump will have a change of heart, but I doubt it very much. And as it is, as we sit here talking, the issue is the minister is already under a lot of pressure, and this is coming from his central bank. I make sure I get information from source. I don't go but they had to get it. I couldn't get it on the Ministry of Energy website, though. I had to get it from his central bank, who said courtesy of the Ministry of Energy. So I assume he had to get it from them because it was not on their website. But if you go to it in every single area, if I don't want to go through all the figures, but in natural gas production, if you go from 2018 to now, it has gone from 3.58 to 2.4. If you go to methanol production, they shut down the major methanol, which was, I think, was Atlas, and the smaller one is producing now. And they have said, it was in the papers, they said they're going to produce 1 million tons less of methanol than they did previously. And the last figures I have for them in the methanol production is, I don't want to get them wrong. So I have a methanol. I have methanol from 5,000 and something to 4,240. But they say we're going to get 1 billion tons less. When it comes to urea, it's gone from 638 in 2018 to in January 2023 to 293 tons. When it comes to ammonia, it fell from 4,872 to 3,000. Now I think it's 2,000 in 2024 to 2,831. Every single one. When it comes to natural gas, we already determined we have a shortfall of about 2.4, 2.5 billion. Yeah. When it comes to the oil, well, we had already had a reduction in oil production. And, we were importing, they're refining, and we'll be refining oil from outside anyhow. But with the refining of oil, it's dropped in the last few years. I have figures here. In 2006, it was 145,000 barrels per day. In 2015, it was 73,000. In 2016, it was 66,000. And by now, it's reached down to 40-something thousand, 49,000 in barrels of oil per day. So at every single area that you can think of, there has been and the central bank governor has said that every single area there has been a production fall. And by the way, the price of natural gas and the price of oil which we are getting based on the budget figures that the minister used to determine the revenue for fiscal 2024, we are getting the natural gas prices are below the projected price for natural gas, as it has been for every single year that this minister has led a budget, except 2022, which had nothing to do with him.
No, Karen, before we get to the subject we want to talk about, I don't know if this is correct, but what it is,
talking about
I have some numbers. Total refined products imported by Paria from December 1st, 2018 to June 30, 2024 is $7.6 billion that Paria have imported refined products. Does that sound like if it's
okay? So that's a good point you're making. And actually, I had the OWTU on my 102 FM show, Anthony Dobson, who actually gets that information, the Freedom of Information Act. And now they start. Well, he was able, and it was in the papers that if you refine the oil, to create. He told me the products, of course, aviation fuel, gasoline, diesel oil. A special type of fuel that is used for, which is not.
Didn't you get bitumen? Didn't you get bitumen?
Bitumen, sulfuric acid.
Yeah.
He named about 8 or 9 products that we were monetizing and selling using locally part of it, and then of course providing in the regional market, and therefore earning foreign exchange. And so one of the things that Kevin Ramnarana said, and they confirmed, was that they always provided their own foreign exchange, because what will happen, there might be a lapse between sale and receipt of the funds. but they were refining oil, bringing in oil because they didn't, the capacity of the refinery, we just didn't produce enough oil. And that had been happening they said from the days of even Texaco. I'm getting from what they told me. They told me in Texaco days, they used to refine 300,000 barrels. And then it went down to 150,000. So there's a lot of capacity. And what they have been doing for many years now have been bringing in crude oil. Our crude oil is very heavy in sulfur. So what they have been doing is and once they refine it, that Paria side, which they've made into a separate subsidiary company, will be the division of the Point-de-Pierre refinery that will sell and market the fuel that the refinery refined. And from the Freedom of Information Act, which I wish I had the figures in front of me, but I do know for the first 3 months of 2024, based on the FOIA that Mr. Anthony Dobson, Secretary of OWTU branch, appointed pair, $240,000 was spent on buying fuel from outside. It's even more scandalous. They actually gave you the figures from 2019 to 2023. And I do not want to give the wrong figures. I don't know if your figures
Karen, I have them here, Value of refined product
where got them from, though?
Imported by Paria Fuel Trading Company. And they have the numbers here. This is the refined
from
product.
Paria?
Yeah, imported by Paria Fuel Trading Company.
Yeah, but I always want to. I'm not that I'm just. This is why I'm stumbling a little bit is because this is what it is. This is what I said wrong. In July 2024, based on the FOIA, 430 million US in 3 months was imported of fuel that the refinery used to produce. And then I have another figure. Between 2019 and 2022, this is from their Freedom of Information, they are saying $3 billion was imported in fuel imports. So they have before would be an earner of foreign exchange. Now, because the Paria because the refinery has been closed down, all the fuel is being imported. Yeah. And what they sell on the regional market cannot make up or compensate for the US that the refinery would have made. And in fact, what they told me, and I think I did see it myself, in Q3 of 2018, which is around the time the Prime Minister decided to close it down, they actually turned a profit under the interim chairmanship of Espinay, because they started implementing restructuring recommendations of the two companies as consultants to deal with the issues in Petrotrin. So what I am saying is billions of US dollars that previously the Point-de-Pierre refinery would have itself created. Instead of that, what they're doing is they are drawing down on our limited foreign exchange. And where our foreign exchange is now, it's about 5.6 billion. And it's not me saying this. Dr. Arjun has said it, and another top economist has said it. They say if you look at the bonds, the international bonds, they have floated in order to pay expenditure, because that's why the country is in the problem it is in, because now they have done nothing to develop the economy, not like Barbados, not like Jamaica, not going into this tourism sector, not going into the agri export sector. In fact, anyway, that's a whole different conversation. But the point is, it reached a position where, in order to pay recurrent expenditure, this is not an investment to develop a new stream of foreign exchange earnings for the country. This is to pay salaries to public servants, salaries to state enterprises, to meet their commitments for subsidies and transfers and subsidies. This is where the international bonds that they have floated for which we for which have to be paid back in US dollars, according to Dr. Arjun, and I believe I am not wrong to say this. I'm quoting from an article, but they have said it in effect. They said if you take away the debt that we are carrying for the US dollars from the 5-point-something billion dollars that we supposedly have in foreign exchange, and we took away the debt from that, we end up with zero foreign exchange. And that is why that's why your Minister of Finance, a complete failure, right? Well, as your Prime Minister. But what does he do? He goes into the Heritage and Stabilization Fund.
Yep.
And since 2016, and it is true, because I didn't believe the UNC when they said we never did it. It was true.
Did it.
In 2016, when I added it up myself, I went through every annual report and I added it up, and I just did a rough conversion. Up to December 2023, I don't know if he followed again, but up to December 2020, which we did not find out until a year later, by the way, right? He took out of what is essentially investment. Yes, it is for hard times, but the law was changed by adding a 15A to allow the government to go into the Heritage and Stabilization Fund, where this is what they used, where there may be a reason to believe that we will not be able to meet our fiscal responsibilities or whatever it is, something very vague. And between that time has taken out of an investment fund the equivalent of over 18.2 billion TT dollars in order to meet debt. That is what got Jamaica in its problems.
But Karen,
you think you're running a business. If you using your business, all you do with your business is paying on debt because Standard & Poor's and Moody's on your back and telling you you're going to downgrade you more, so nobody going to invest in you. And you could see that in the bidding, by the way, which I have the figures for, how badly they did with the bid rounds, If you keep on using money, the funds from the foreign exchange or foreign exchange reserves as backup for these bonds, and you're taking money out of the HSF to pay for debt, how are you going to grow the economy? How are you going to create opportunities for diversification? Or rather than use that word, how are you going to provide the country with revenue streams? Because the issue right now our country is facing is that there is a scarcity of foreign exchange. There is a lack of foreign exchange. And what I am saying to you, the government is scrambling left, right, and center to get money to pay off the debt, but not to produce other streams of foreign exchange earnings. That's where we are. 10 years. That's what they did in 10 years.
Well, Karen, because I have the numbers here. In 2020, they reduced $16.5 billion. I have all the numbers here. I keep these numbers here just because most of the time they just want to blame the UNC with respect
I don't like to get into that. I don't like to get into the UNC thing. I don't get into that.
But they want to blame. They want to pass the blame. But anyway, Karen,
you know why I don't like to get into that? Because really and truly, when you start talking that talk, I could understand if I were a PNM person, and I would, because I'm a strong PNM supporter, you know. I think once you start talking that, I'm going to feel I have to defend.
No.
I want them to defend the country, not against a party.
No. Go ahead, Tommy.
Would you say that the technocrats who are handling our finances and our economy don't know the work? Or is it that they wouldn't take advice?
Well, one, they didn't take advice because at the beginning they set up an economic advisory board, and it was soon dismantled. They had some very good people. Unlike Jamaica, I have to give Jamaica a lot of kudos, you know, because what they did, and actually that's one of the recommendations from Hope, and I guess it's following what Jamaica did to answer your question, is that they set up by law a fiscal I can't remember the name of the legislation, it escapes me right now, but what it does, it sets up a fiscal commission, and the fiscal commission has financing independent of the government, because it's in parliament, and they have, in other words, their role is to really see that, make sure the government stays on track in terms of taxation and spending, in terms of its debt profile. And they cannot tell the government what to do. They can monitor, they can suggest, but what they do is they can publish their results in the parliament and tell the people of the country what recommendations were made, what the government did, and why we are here. And it comes from an independent source, which the government will not be able to stifle or prevent them from coming to the people, because it is not something that they are doing they're doing it because there is legislation that was implemented, I think, in 2021 that allows for that. So the government, I think, in my respectful opinion, I think that, I mean, it sounds terrible to say something like this. It really does sound terrible to say something like this. But I really feel there's a lot of laziness, because to have, just like that person asked, you know how many years? Yes, it takes years. But first of all, you have to have a strategic plan. Then you have to articulate that and communicate it to the people. Let them understand, listen, we can't continue just to rely. They're not going to be abandoning the energy sector, but we have to do things like bunkering. We have to make ourselves the hub for knowledge in the energy sector, because we are well respected internationally. We could set up a TTRA using that as the basis. Dubai did something, and all these countries use a strength they have to set up an international financial center. We could do something like that. Tell the people that. Tell the people that the cocoa, the review of the economy 2020, prepared by the technocrats, not by the minister, the cocoa that only Trinidad has, called Trinitario cocoa, which is one of the best cocoas in the world, highly recognized internationally. Do you know, in 2023, they said 90% of those cocoa plants had been destroyed? That is for export, you know. They were talking about it, not for the local economy, you know. They were talking about it in terms of an export agricultural product. Why don't you come to the people and say, listen, we can develop that. We can develop a tourism product that unspoiled Tobago. I know Vanessa James told me years ago that they were really pushing in order to get medical tourism, which in Grenada, 30% of their GDP comes from the St. George's University. So, and in Trinidad, nobody has what we have. Nobody has what we have, which is our, what I call cultural tourism, which is what Mauritius did. When the sugar and all the preferential treatments that we enjoyed as a former colony disappeared, what did they do? They pivoted to two things. And one of them was cultural tourism. You know why? Their population is about the same as ours. Their demographics is about the same as ours. We have pan, we have chutney, we have parang, we have the food, we have the drinks, we have the UTT, we have Arthur Lockjack, we have Napa, we have Sapa, we have Kostat, we have educated, we have Calypsonians, we have so much, we have pan, we have so many things. We have in this country that we can build a brand, a SWOT analysis that Barbados cannot compete with us, Antigua cannot compete with us, none of them could compete with us. And
none of
we
them.
develop that.
You know, Karen, it's interesting, right? In 2023, Jamaica generated $4.38 billion USD from tourism.
Yes.
$4.38 billion from tourism.
Yes, absolutely. And this is what is that. And you know what is hurtful and painful? Because you could go to Central Bank, they do their monetary reports, right? And so they will do an international thing, then they do the regional. And what you saw, 2020, everybody had it hard, except Guyana, right? So you saw negative growth. I mean, in negative 10%, negative 12% in nearly every country. But do you know that the next year or by the following year, 2021, 2022,
turn around.
And significantly into 5 Eastern Caribbean countries, I mean, by a huge number, you know, from what? Service industry, you know what? Tourism.
Karen.
We have a product.
Yes.
We have a product that nobody else has. The mixture of our people, the cuisine of our people, the Jose, the Diwali,
the culture.
But we need somebody to pull it all together. And what you need, this is what I'm strong on anyhow, because this is a weakness that I think we have in the Caribbean. But I think there's something we need to deal with because it's too much politics plays in these kinds of things. What you need is someone who is a quality manager. I already have in mind what I already told a person I know. I said, girl, if I ever could have anything with tourism, I am appointing you to be the person who will make sure that Maracas looks like what Greece and all those Mykonos and those countries look like. It's not money. It's not money you're talking about. I will make sure the Savannah people can make money. I will make sure that they can take the fudge and the tulum and all these things that we produce and the kurma and box it and package it in such a way that they make it elegant. We could listen. I would put you in charge because this person is a woman. Her taste is absolutely exquisite. And I would put her in charge. And I'd say they'd have all these segments and makeup tourism. And everybody reports to you to make sure that we meet international standards.
Karen.
And I'll give you a story let me just give you one story before I do finish, because my son told me this. Because I know the young man. And I don't call his name. I won't call his name. But he may not appreciate me calling his name. Okay? But this is to tell you how what I'm saying is not pie in the sky. As a little young man, I know since I used to live down in the east, down in St. Augustine, right? And he was very disabled, very short and also bent and really disabled. I don't think anybody felt that he had any future. But my husband is a pan man, right? So my husband was got Crico to sponsor the pan for Zata, and he used to play in the pan. Anyway, the long and short of it is that he eventually decided to make that a career. He started taking individual orders for pans, getting them chromed, packaged, and sending it off to Northern European countries. My son called me the other day because he knows him well. It was his good friend. He said, Mommy, so-and-so, he built a beautiful home. His son is in second year in UE. He is going to be doing his master's just now. And he has built a factory. And the factory he did get support from the government. He did tell me that 2 government agencies. And he's chroming these things and he's sending it, packaging it in leatherette things and sending it abroad to these different clients. I suppose he might even make sure the land of pan, Trinidad and Tobago, I suppose you should put in a little booklet giving the history of it and offering people who want to do pan lessons, letting them get in touch with them. But he must be a multimillionaire right now. A little boy who I know growing up when he was going to St. Augustine Senior Comprehensive in his Senior Comprehensive uniform. And look at where he reached selling pan. And that is a true story.
And quickly, just before we go for the break, Karen, I came back from St. Lucia about a month ago. And I'm telling you, from a tourism perspective, it's like I felt shame to be a Trinidadian when I went to St. Lucia and see how they have tourism. And they don't have no shortage of Forex, and they don't have no Forex black market. They have no black market, right? And the currency is stable. Is $2.50 EC to $1 US. All right? And I couldn't believe that Trinidad and Tobago, which have way more than St. Lucia, and St. Lucia was so far ahead as far as tourism is concerned. It was unbelievable. But Karen, we got to go for a quick break. Stay right there. We're going to go for a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to actually delve into the subject that we really want to talk about. Stick and stay, folks. It's In the Village with Uncle Tommy, Professor Wall Street, Karen Nunes Teixeira, and you on WZYE 95.9.
And any comments they have, shoot it to me. I do mind answering.
All right. And if you have any comments, even if you want to take a call, you could call and ask Karen any question. Karen is open to any question. Yeah, Karen, not like let me don't say that.
Don't call in.
So we'll be right back. Stick and stay. It's In the Village with Uncle Tommy, Professor Wall Street, and we'll be right back after this. Don't go nowhere.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
We are back with you. It's In the Village with Uncle Tommy, Professor Wall Street, Karen Nunes Teixeira, and you on WZYE 95.9 FM. We come to you every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 7 to 10 p.m. That's Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 7 to 10 p.m. Don't forget, share the live. WZYE 95.9 FM on Facebook and X. Subscribe. WZYE TV and YouTube. And folks, remember, you are going to help us get to 10,000 subscribers. With your help, this little WZYE 95.9 FM is going to get to 10,000 subscribers. You can also reach us here at 973-868-1444. That's 973-868-1444.
Or 973-609-6509. That's 973-609-6509. Remember, voice notes and text messages are also welcome. These are WhatsApp numbers, so you don't have to worry about running out of money as long as you have Wi-Fi, of course.
And if you have a question for Karen, you can text your question in the chat, or you can call. And folks, when you call, don't do like a Trinidad and ask a question that's 5 minutes long, please. Ask a question that's 90 seconds long so Karen can answer it. So Karen, what I want to talk about now is there seems to be, for the first time in the PNM, that the PNM business is out a road, so to speak. And it appears that, and I'm saying it appears that, you are on the ground, so you could straighten me out. It appears that the Prime Minister has kind of decided that he wants Stuart Young to be the next political leader of the People's National Movement. What says Karen Nunes Teixeira?
Well, let me just answer the first part last. The appearance is because he has given that message to the population. It started with him having him act for him as when he would go abroad as Prime Minister.
And he's acting again. He's acting right now again.
Correct. But the reason why it was the first time he did it was August the 4th, I think, of last year or something. But what was particularly noteworthy about it is because on every occasion on which some acting appointment was made, it was always the Minister of Finance, Colin Imbert. So it didn't only happen. I'm seeing one, Mr. Montano. Nice to see you again. It was not only that, but I had him acting all the time, and it started making the newspapers. So the newspapers started recognizing, and I think I'd written it down on a piece of paper somewhere, but in any event, they started commenting on the number of times that the Minister of Energy was now acting and no longer was the Minister of Finance. Yeah, he acted for him when he went Samoa, and as you see, he's acting for him now. So that was one of the things that started people looking at it. That was one. Secondly, the messages that the Prime Minister has been sending, at least for the last year or so, that he will go into the next election, but don't expect him to stay for the full 5 years. So he has been sending a message that he would resign once the PNM won, and therefore someone else would then have to be Prime Minister. So that's a second message that has been sent. A third message is, and it's in the papers, and under the headlines, "Is Stuart Young be favored by the Prime Minister?" So the newspapers and the media started carrying it and projecting it and adding to the whole public perception clearly that Mr. Stuart Young, the Minister Stuart Young, was a favored one, the anointed one. And it then took on a life of its own when it started now moving from these several things that I mentioned. When I think the first one person to sort of hit a googly as you or whatever, it's, I don't know anything about cricketers, so don't ask you what I meant by that, right? But I know that's what they say. Robert LeHunt, when Robert LeHunt came out basically and said that you cannot anoint a person cannot anoint someone to be prime minister. We have a democracy, and I think the headline, I was looking for the headline that they used, but the headline clearly showed that he was challenging the perception that the prime minister could take the crown and put it on someone that he didn't call a name, but by that time, everyone had concluded it had to be Stuart Young. And then other things started happening. The other thing that happened was that, of course, the hot mic issue. And who was starring it was Mr. Stuart Young, but also our goodly Minister of Finance was there. And Mr. Stuart Young had the nastiest, dirtiest, crassest things to say. But, you know, in the keeping with his own prime minister, I have to say. Nothing I mean, what made the prime minister fire Mayor Tim Key for misogynistic statements? That is what the speaker said. He had nothing to say about it. All he could say was they said bad things about me. But two wrongs do not make a right. That's what I was told by my grandfather. But anyway, the hot mic picked it up, and he said all the nastiest things you could think of a personal, sexual nature. And then Minister of Finance, who was sitting nearby, according to the reports, had nothing bad to say. He said, yeah, boy, you think you should say something like that or something to that way. And then after he said what he had to say, he said, you know, you're on a mic, you're on the hot mic. Well, you know, too late shall be cried. So that was a big thing. And then the speaker responds to that. I think if she could have sent him to the privilege.
Okay, folks, it seemed like Karen's internet is giving a little problem. Tell me how these things always seem to happen just like that. You know what I mean?
Hopefully
you know what I mean?
Recover soon.
Yeah, when the thing now
ZYE to Karen. Come back, Karen.
Let me remove she and see. She frozen. She frozen. I could see it. She's frozen. Yeah, so folks, we talking to Mrs. Karen Nunes Teixeira. We delving into we going into the bosom of the PNM now. Yeah. We talking about the PNM, but Karen is frozen, so yeah, move a defender. Karen get kicked out. Yeah, man.
To you.
Yeah.
Something stood out to me tonight in our conversation, and I want to have the question publicly. Wall Street, she just said that, in other words, PNM have an oath to keep things inside, right? She just admitted that, right?
Yeah.
That is why they can't say that bad about she. And you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Also, Wall Street, I heard you when you had on your red contact lens and your red earplugs. You made us on a line from Uncle Tommy. I want to ask you because you are the voice of reasoning. Uncle Tommy, do you think this secrecy PNM have is destroying our country?
Absolutely, no question. Who I blame most for everything is the Ford estate. I think that they have to become a little bit.
Uncle Tommy, you know that my mantra. I was waiting patiently to say that also, but I get to fully realize now the secrecy of the PNM is destroying our country because anything happening in the UNC, people stand up against it. That is facts. But somehow, everybody and the Tanti know Stuart Young and Foster Cummins is warring each other. But they would not admit it. And that is a sad day, Uncle Tommy. So I wish she was there. I was to ask her this question direct.
Yeah, but no, but over defender, I could tell you that. I could tell you that. Foster Cummins and the media, what the media is doing, right, is putting Foster in front. So when the decision making in order for them to run against each other, so they could go after him with a vengeance.
But I brought that already to the forefront. They are putting Foster because they're going to destroy him.
Destroy him, correct? They go discredit him, dismiss him, demonize him, right? They listen. It's that ain't easy, you know.
Well, she's asked some information, yeah? But I'm waiting patiently to let it go.
Yeah, keep it.
I hardly calling the Mugabe station because I say nobody else listen. Yeah, you watching I say Mugabe station. I know your program is one way tonight, yeah? But I hear Mr. Bingo said there's nothing wrong with making the rich richer because the government will tax them in.
Nah. When you say that?
Well, she when I hear the morning, only person I can think about was you. But anyway, I said tonight is not for that.
All right.
About Karen,
yeah.
And what should I know the cult? So enjoy your night.
All right. Let me see if I could get her back to me. Tommy, take it here.
Yeah, well, as you see and as you've heard, Mr. Shara is bringing us the facts as she see them, and she is pretty objective, knowledgeable also. She was a good finance minister, regardless of what was said and what kind of propaganda was being spewed about her. She did what she had to do, and she did a good job at it, and she worked with one of our best prime ministers. Everybody knows that Patrick Manning was a visionary leader, even though he was demonized by our current prime minister. Unfortunately, he didn't see his dream. His vision was skewed and it was destroyed. But here we are today, and we whoever is would know for sure that what is happening is not in the best interest of the citizenry of Trinidad and Tobago, especially when it comes to our energy business. How could you profess to be energy and shut down an operation by demonizing the operation, which you know was not doing what you said it was doing? And as a result of that, you basically crippled a part of the country and the economy. Well, we would see. Time alone will tell. Remember that song by Jimmy Cliff, Time Will Tell. Time alone will tell. Because as it is, as it will be and will continue to be, what happens and what continues to happen is not right and it is not proper, and the fourth estate are asleep at the wheel. Therefore, when you fall asleep at the wheel, what you do? You crash and burn. Come in, Wall Street. The mic's not up.
Yeah, Tommy, I just spoke to Karen. And this thing is serious now, you know, Tommy. Serious, you know. Karen just went in Trinidad, right?
Mm-hmm.
It come back, but Karen cannot go into her email to get to the link. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Karen just went in Trinidad.
Yeah.
However, she cannot go into her email to get to the link to get back on. You all think this thing real? All of us think we is little fly by night, eh? We know little fly by night, you know. And let me say this, Tommy. We don't have to have 800 people on a live and thing, like the rest of them, Oh God, we have 700 people on YouTube. We have 500 here. We don't do that. We're not interested in that.
Because guess what? Not only that, people are listening in groups.
Yes.
We have listening parties going on where people are listening 20 at one time, listening to one unit.
Yeah. And
people listening in groups.
Tommy, I just hear them on the Mugabe station talking about, I hear he and why the fella, the Uncle Tommy fella, them. So I say, hey, wait, they're listening, right? Look at that. All of a sudden, 9 o'clock in the night in Trinidad, 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Corinne going, all right, we know that's happening in Trinidad.
Mm-hmm.
But she can't get back into her email, Tommy, to click on the link to come in. Yeah, boy.
Let me tell you something. They know what we're saying is fact.
Hold on. Where Tommy?
They know what we are saying is factual, and they know that we are making good sense to people who are thinking.
Thinkers.
Yep. They know.
The financial guru, welcome.
Yeah, good night. Are you hearing me well?
Yeah, you're loud and clear.
Good night, Uncle Tommy. Good night, Professor.
You in America, so they can't cut your internet or cut your electricity.
Yeah, but you what's going on. You understand? This is serious stuff here. And I'm very happy that Mrs. Nunes Teixeira, Miss Karen, was able to come on and start explaining. And Uncle Tommy and Professor Wall Street, I have told you before, I want to come on this show at some point in time and show diagrams, because there are people that in Tobago, and Miss Karen touched on very important. And I wanted to ask a question. I have two particular questions, right? And I'm just going to go too quickly as possible. Miss Karen pointed out as a Minister of Finance, Jamaica's Finance Minister, Mr. Anselm, Uncle Tommy. Jamaica's Finance Minister is an expert in finance. You could go and check it out. They have an advisory board that gives independent information on what the government policies are. And I keep homing in on this issue where Keith Rowley back in 2015 gave Con Imbert, who has no experience, no certification, no sort of understanding of finance. He has an economics degree. And unlike what Mr. Teixeira is, beg to differ with a couple of things. Keith Rowley, Dr. Keith Rowley, let me mention his name properly, said that there are not enough experts in the ministries in Trinidad and Tobago. And when you have a volcanologist who is a geologist by trade, very bright guy when it comes to math, Con Member, very good guy when it comes to math. They are book smart. And you have Mr. Stuart Young, a lawyer by trade, making economic decisions without experts. Uncle Tommy and Professor Wall Street, I eat, drink, and live finance from the age of 15. And I am in my 50s. I have worked all over the world. I have consulted all over. And what is happening in Trinidad and Tobago is you are having poor decisions, which is going to affect us. So one of the questions I wanted to point out to Ms. Karen is actually two. But I want to go to a quote from Mariano Brown, who worked with Mrs. Teixeira. Please, this is very important. So please just allow me. And I want Mr. Teixeira, if she could come back in at some point in time. And this is what Mr. Mariano Brown said. He worked under Mr. Teixeira. And this pertains to the Forex issue and the devaluation that we don't want. But in fact, what is called a managed float, which Dr. Uric Bob, central bank governor, and Dr. Terence Farrell, Deputy Central Bank Governor, came up with, I think, either Mr. Hugh Thorne, back under the Manning administration, back in the 90s, when Trinidad was going through difficulties, they came up with what was called a managed float. Dr. Rowley, who is in Guyana now, meeting Mr. Modi, fine, well and good, in Parliament, he is not going to devalue the dollar. Nobody's talking about devaluation. He does not understand the meaning of devaluation versus depreciation. And depreciation is important because we are running out of money. I've continually said that. Mr. Teixeira, Professor Wall Street, said tonight, and I pointed that out. I have a graph showing that our external debt, which is about 5 billion, is equal to our foreign reserves. You know that Mr. Coleman Burt, on his dissertation, said we are running out of money. We are depleting our reserves by 7 to 8% annually. And I've already worked it out. Within 4 years, if things remain the same, we will be negative, just like how it had in 1986-87. You and Uncle Tommy wasn't there. I was there as a teenager. So the question I have, let me quote this. Former minister in the Ministry of Finance, Mariano Brown, yesterday accused Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley and Finance Minister Minister Coleman Burt of talking a world of rubbish. And Dr. Rowley likes to use rubbish as poppycock and participating in economic fiction. Let me just go on to quote what he says quickly. Just give me 1 second. And I want to ask Michelle. This is what he says. But it sells politically when Brown said, adding the government, which was losing money daily, was playing time till the election. He was responding to the Prime Minister's statement in the House of Representatives on Monday, in which he said that the foreign exchange Forex crisis was caused by increased demand and that the valuation of the TT dollar was not the solution because it would be an increase in cost across the board. Now, here's what I have to ask Ms. Teixeira, a former Minister of Finance in the Manning administration, and she had Mr. Mariano Brown, who has a lot of experience, more experience than Mr. Imbert, Mr. Stuart Young, who's acting as Prime Minister, and Dr. Rowley. Do you agree that what Mr. Mariano Brown is saying? Do you agree? Because the point Mr. Mariano Brown was raising is that we already have a black market. And what they were talking about is not devaluation, but a managed float. Do you agree, number one, with what he said? And number two, Dr. Rowley is indicating that there is a cabal. I pointed out that out earlier. And do you agree that there is a cabal waiting to get the devaluation and bring back money to Trinidad? So, number one, do you agree that if it's rubbish and it's scaremongering and it's a fact an election ploy because they are running out of money and they don't want to increase or give the perception that there is a depreciation or devaluation, which will affect Trinidad and Tobagonians? And number two, do you agree that we should do a managed float and they are waiting until next year to bring the full-fledged, because Anselm, Professor Wall Street, sir, and Uncle Tommy and folks, Economics 101, which Dr. Rowley doesn't seem to understand, neither Coleman Burt. If you have demand stays the same and your supply contract, what will happen? You will have an increase in price. So when you have an increase in price, that means there's more demand for US. You can only go up. The US value will go up. It would not go down. Have a good night.
Yeah, man. Right.
But I think that this is important. And as I said, I want to come in because you see how they cut her off? I am saying today, we are in trouble.
Yeah, we're in trouble.
Donald Trump put in a guy, Marco Rubio, and he called Chris Wright as the energy secretary. And Mrs. Kishera already pointed out, even with the 3 fields coming on stream, even if he renews, and it's not the Office of Fixed Assets, it's the Office of Foreign Asset Control. So I just making that point. Even if they do that, Mr. Wright will pump gas like we don't ever see it, and the natural gas pricing will fall even further. So we have to diversify. And Mr. Colin Imber and Dr. Rowley and Stuart Young, we cannot depend on a one-trick pony. You all have to get to agriculture, which is what Mr. Sarah pointed out. You all have to get to tourism. And Slim, Uncle Tommy, Caribbean won the Apex Award. Don't check out what it is. One of the few airlines with 8%, only 8% of the airlines in the world. They are going all over, but they're not in lift capacity for Tobago. Okay? They're not putting lift capacity for Tobago. They're not doing agriculture. 0.5% of our GDP. Mr. Wall Street, Professor Wall Street, I pointed out in 1972, before the Arab-Israeli embargo, sir, our GDP in agriculture was 7%. To get to 5%, that would be billions of dollars that we could earn. But these guys are playing games, election, the electioneering.
Right, leave it there.
You guys have a good night.
All right, man.
But we have to keep it on them. Pressure, pressure. We are Trinidadians too, not them only.
All right.
Good night.
Thank you so very much. You know,
Tommy, go ahead.
You know, I keep saying one thing that seems to be obvious. You cannot give a taxi driver a plane and say taxi that.
Tommy, let me give you a round of applause for that. Let me give you a round of applause. Yeah. You deserve this. Tommy, give yourself a round of applause. You go to the round of applause and give yourself a round of applause.
I'll be.
You give yourself a round of applause.
I'll let you do it. But the truth be told, when you really think about it, I always say that a man who businesses rocks. A man who's in the business rocks.
Rocks, yeah.
Right. What kind of prime minister he would make?
And you know what that's like? That's like getting P&M Fox, who's an engineer, right? He's an engineer to run a big corporation.
What type of engineer is he?
Yeah, well, I know, but maybe I don't know. I know what type of engineer he is, but he's a P&M engineer.
Yeah.
So, folks, let me say this, Colin Burt doesn't know the difference between a managed float and devaluation. He's absolutely clueless. Listen to this. What is a managed float? A managed float is a system where a country's central bank occasionally intervenes in the foreign exchange market to influence the exchange rate of its currency. While devaluation, listen, refers to deliberate intentional reduction in the value of a currency, typically done by a government in a fixed exchange rate system to make exports cheaper. Essentially, a managed float allows for some market fluctuation with controlled intervention, whereas devaluation is a direct action to lower a currency's value. There is a big difference. But there's more. All you can't say when you come in the village, all you don't get facts. P&M Fox, Patty, Gordon Joseph, all you go on the Mugabe station and see if all you go get this. Go over there. Go over there and see all you get. Mr. Bingo, Mr. Hates, the PSA hater, and Mr. Bacteria. All you go over and see if them can give all of this type of information. There is more. What are some characteristics of a managed float? What are some characteristics? Listen, it allows the exchange rate to fluctuate based on market forces, supply and demand, based on market forces. but the central bank can step in to stabilize it if needed. And that is often called a dirty float. I teach that in global business. The goal is to maintain a desired exchange rate through intervention. Let's go to the valuation. A direct action by a government to lower the value of its currency, usually in a fixed exchange rate system. It can be used to boost exports by making them cheaper in foreign markets. It is considered to be a more aggressive policy compared to a managed float. When the engineer Imbo talking, he said to me, when they talk about floating the dollar, it's the same as the valuation. When he was in the interview, and I listened to him, I said, well, wait now, boy. Where you getting the information from? And this is simple.
Yeah. I'm a taxi driver. I can taxi that plane down the runway.
Yeah. Tommy, you go and taxi that plane. You are your taxi driver license. You have insurance too. Go and taxi that.
Taxi that plane down the runway.
Yeah. You see that plane over there? That BB? They're not BB again. The BOAC. That BOAC still? Nah. Carl. Caribbean Airlines. Go over there and taxi that plane. Or you know what? Get Gordon Joseph, let him go and taxi that plane. Let the referee go and taxi the plane. Yeah, Tommy. Yeah. Hey, bring the referee. Let him go and
taxi the plane down the runway. You see, what we have is a bunch of square pegs in round holes.
A fish doesn't rotten from the tail.
You know, he looked at what Manning was doing and thought it was a walk in the park.
But Tommy, he can't even hold Manning left shoes. The left one. He can't even hold Manning left shoes. No comparison. No.
All he was bent on is the fact that I have a doctorate.
That is it.
So who cares? You have a doctorate and who cares?
That is it. You have a doctorate. So what?
You can have a doctorate in sex.
What it is? And you see them paying them like Patty and them. Oh, you have to call him doctor. You know to call him doctor. Okay. When the Prime Minister office issued releases for him for a press conference, they just put PM Rowley. PM Rowley. So if they could put PM Rowley, I could say PM Rowley. Them just put it. And we have the information to show, you know. Right? Listen, them fellas and them have no interest in diversifying the economy of Trinidad and Tobago. They are hell-bent on depending on oil and gas. Them they want to do nothing with tourism, agriculture, one set of election gimmicks about trying to give people land and all kind of things. Our food import bill is $7 billion. Billion. Them don't want to reduce that because if they reduce that, they're reducing money from their finances. They don't want to reduce that. All you come on, all you better go on the Mugabe station with the pastor with the internet search engine name and Miss Fallacious on the morning because all them could do is read the newspapers. Yes, let's go over to the Newsday. The headline is this. Let's go over to the Express. The headline is this. And let's go over to the Trinidad Guardian. Today, Phil Gerald Hines said COVID-19 is like crime. Crime is like COVID-19. Yeah, Tommy?
Well,
you know,
yeah, and they're thinking about everything. They're full of thoughts.
Tommy, no. I want you all to listen to this. Listen to this, Tommy. As you say that. I'm sorry. But I want you all to listen to this. I digress there. I want you to listen to this thing. We go listen to this one, then we go listen to my editorial. I have an editorial for it. I had to do an editorial. Boy, Manning was so right there, boy. That's why that fella all that fella could have been on a Manning was a junior minister. That is it. But before we play that, let me see if I have any voice notes that I want to play. Hold on, Let me key this up. I want you all to listen to this.
Heat up and let's listen to some of the propaganda, the PNM propaganda.
Crime is like COVID-19 now, Tommy. Crime, COVID-19. Boy, oh God. All right. Let me listen to this one here real quick. Let me listen to this.
A political response to a statement put out by a politician. And it's the same thing over and over and over and over. There is nothing the government or any member of the government could say that one can give a point or a point and a half towards and say, yeah, that is true. Or I wonder if this is what he mean, or I wonder if this is what she mean. It always a no way, not good, waste of time, lies, political gimmick, election gimmick, what else? And the mud and the stone, the demonizing continues. Oh Lord, Father, when this will end? I have an idea when, eh? I have an idea when. Find out from him. You said XYZ. Could you elaborate? Could you think? Rather than you jump into your conclusions and you could end up being wrong like a oh, because now he come in and say, I did not have this in mind when I said that. I did not have that in mind when I said that. No. Because I could look at it. I could look at it and say, it could be looked at as a disease. Crime, you say, criminal activities. I will want to keep away from any disease. Any disease. So I will want to keep away from them. And if they tell me this is what could help me to get this disease, then I'm making sure, no. So going with this girl, I could get AIDS. I'm not going there. No. Right? I buy this person and they sneeze. And if I inhale it, I could end up with it. When they sneeze, no, I am not going to inhale for a while, or I will turn my face. I will do something to ensure that whatever this person have or is dealing with, I must not be in that position also, once I could avoid it. So nothing wrong with treating it like a disease. It's a disease that this person have, then it is possible it has something I could do to help them to get over that bloody disease. Probably I could tell them, look, listen, let me help you with some money, buy a hammer, buy a saw, buy a jack plane, buy a spirit level, and you could go by Mr. Paul or Mr. Jerry and say, listen, I had these tools and I would like to learn how to use them. I would like to operate. Could I come and work with you? And who knows, next thing maybe you hiring people to work with you. I'm treating it like a disease. I'm trying to help somebody get over it. Get over it. I have suggestions to them. I ain't just telling them, hey, you see that thing? It go kill you. You have it there. There's nothing. No, it had things you could do that you could get over any disease. Yeah? So my responsibility is to see how I could tell you how to get over it. I can't be going and telling you, boy, that is it, you know. Once you get that, you're dead. At one time they say about that about AIDS, and say Magic Johnson get over AIDS. And others. Come now, man. Come now, man. Let me mature. Let me mature. When it comes to communicating. So that those who, we know it had the UNC till are dead. You can't get away from that. It had the PNM till are dead. You can't get away from that. But it has some that they kind of in the middle, you know. They could swing so, they could swing so. Think about what you're doing. You feel that could get this one to swing so, or that one to swing so. When you have your level of balance is -0, huh? Think about the people now. Don't think about the rewards and probably what the offers are. Because listen, that could come back to bite you by your big toe. No? That could come back to bite you by the big toe. No? And when that thing hit the fan, you'll be worse off than when you first began. Take my good advice. Good night. It's my editorial.
Tommy, can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Did Magic Johnson get over AIDS?
No.
Did he get over AIDS? Or he's living with AIDS?
He's living with it. He's got treatment and he's living with it.
With this fella, you know,
I'm gonna get to the point where whenever you start to play, I'm gonna take a break.
You know, like he have a P&M dictionary. He had to have a P&M dictionary.
Some people think that they're brighter and smarter and more wise than other people.
Tommy. I write it down, you know. Look, I make a note of it. Eh? The man say Magic Johnson get over AIDS. Way
misinformation.
Hey, let me play the disclaimer. Hold on. Mr. Florida, hold on. I had to play the disclaimer. Sorry. I had to play the disclaimer because I want you to shut me down for that. Let me play it. Hold on. Hold on.
All opinions and views expressed by the program participants, including those on social media, are solely their opinions and views and do not reflect the opinions and views of WZYE management and staff.
Mr. Florida, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Ansem. Good night, Mr. Ansem. Good night, Mr. Tommy. Good night, all the callers. Mr. Ansem, I was no calling to tell you to play that disclaimer.
I had played.
Yeah, because that man make no sense when you say it. And I hear who this man calling. This man calling people from America.
Magic Johnson.
No idea
the man get over AIDS. Off.
Anyway. He have no idea when he's speaking. He just utter 10 minutes of nothingness.
Listen, the man should. Yes, now. There are no night football in Trinidad. But go and referee a game now, man.
you know what kind of game he had a referee?
Yeah.
You know when them fat sumo wrestling and them fighting in
Oh yeah. Sumo wrestling.
Them sumo wrestling.
Yeah. Them big,
wrestling.
strong sumo. Yeah, he had to go. Yeah. That's a good thing. I'll get a gig for him. But Mr. Florida, I say, but wait now. And the man sounds so intelligent, eh? Magic Johnson get over AIDS.
Yeah, but you must realize something, Mr. Ansem.
Yeah.
Anytime a person had to speak slowly to say his words.
Why?
Well, I believe they're not that intelligent. Because an intelligent person could think of the jaw and rather speak so slow. But anyway, so kind of say cheap crime like COVID-19.
Yes.
So let me break it down. Let me look at the facts. What they say about COVID-19 when it was. Social distancing, wear your mask, do go in certain places in a crowd without your mask. So when you stand up in the line 5 feet away, so that was for crime.
That is some dunceology that I've ever heard, you know. I ain't lying.
And this man come and speak 10 minutes about this. And you know what's one thing I admire about him? He always talk about mudslinging.
Correct.
But this man never come on the program, Mr. Answer, Mr. Tommy, and make a contribution that have value and will bring something forward in Trinidad, you know. All this man is talk about is
UNC and who
defend the PNM, defend the PNM, defend the PNM. That is it. You know what it is? He's a referee. I feel I gonna get Dwight York number and ask Dwight York to make sure you referee, but he only refereeing the defenders alone. he just
you don't know. We have people they need some strong men to move the goalposts. So they shift the goalposts all over the place.
He go referee the defenders alone. He not refereeing the whole game. He only refereeing the part where the defenders are. That is all he refereeing. You understand? When the ball going forward, he had to stay in the defense and referee them. That is what he had to do.
That is what you had to do. Before I go here, I know the time running short and I know you want to play this clip. But what I had to see for Minister of National Security to make a statement crime like COVID-19.
Yeah.
That is a failure. Because you remember in New York, Giuliano and all of them, they never say something like that.
Giuliani and them, them fight it.
Exactly.
Them putting principles, rules, and they had different things that they've done in order to fight crime. They didn't come with this kind of gobbledygook that crime is like COVID-19. What kind of?
And they made sure they paid the officers well, so they had no damn excuse.
Yeah.
About taking bribes.
Three factors in that. There are three pillars in that. One, they never blame the people, the citizen. Two, they never make it a health crisis or a COVID-19 crisis like what they're doing here.
Yeah.
And three, they work with the people and give the people incentive.
Yep.
True.
So you tell me this big man. Anyway, Mr. Hansen and Mr. Toby, let me go because I know you want to play this.
Yeah, let me play this. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So, listen to this, and then I'm going to play my editorial. Listen to this. What I think I didn't make this up. Listen to this.
National Security Minister Fitzgerald Hines yesterday said crime is a disease like COVID-19, and just like COVID, it has to be treated as such with everyone playing their part to fight it. Hines was asked to respond to the current murder toll, which, according to him, stood at 555 up to last night, with 250 of these murders being classified as gang-related and 87% of the 250 murders being committed using illegal guns. The Express caught up to the minister yesterday following a handover ceremony of 2 drones donated to the National Security Ministry by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, UNODC. The event was held at the ministry's Temple Court, Port of Spain headquarters. Asked about the toll as well as murders in general, he responded, "It reflects what we have said before about the extent and levels of violence that we have been able to perpetrate on each other, and in some cases, our visitors to Trinidad and Tobago. It simply says we are becoming an increasingly violent society, and it also suggests that law enforcement has a lot more to do in suppressing the violent nature of the gangs." He also spoke on the importance of the community in tackling crime. The approach we are taking requires community engagement. It requires every NGO, even faith-based organizations. All of us, Hines stressed. He said just like with COVID-19, people bought sanitizers and chose to use masks, and we gave up the business of hugging and kissing because we as individuals had a role to play in pushing back COVID-19. And with treating violence as a public health issue, it is no different. He added that just as someone chose not to spread COVID-19, they can also choose not to engage in violence. In this fight, individuals have to play a role. Parents have to play a role. Teachers have to play a role. The media has to play a role because this ain't no joke. It kills us, just like COVID-19, he said. Hines also dealt with the upsurge in murders, especially in Belmont, over the last 2 weeks. He said patrols were increased in both East Port of Spain and Belmont, and added that this was the reason they were so grateful for the donation of the 2 drones from the UN. It will allow us a direct attack on that as we do all the things we have to do, he said. He said this explains why the government has begun treating violence like a public health concern, which he said required an international effort and a regional one. It is why we joined forces with CARICOM, and we now have CARICOM Impacts, Implementation Agency for Crime and Security, and we have established the Crime Gun Intelligence Unit, he said. He said the region, as well, was also affected by violence.
Tommy, just imagine them are go Yeah, we really have a Mickey Mouse Prime Minister. Truth to know, boy. You know, you need to go to Disney. Serious. You know, they come and get them 2 drones when they should have been having that long time ago. What kind of Mickey Mouse Prime Minister we have, boy? But let me say this to Gordon Joseph. When you come in the village, come with your facts. Don't come with fiction. Magic Johnson has not gotten over AIDS, but he has successfully managed HIV, the virus that can lead to AIDS, for over 30 years. Thanks to advancement in antiretroviral therapy, Magic Johnson has been able to maintain a healthy and active lifestyle since his diagnosis in 1991. He continues to be a prominent advocate for HIV awareness and education, demonstrating that with proper treatment, people living with HIV can lead long, fulfilling life. Gon Joseph, don't come with that kind of dontology here. Don't come with that. Don't come with that. Go in the Mugabe station under the pastor with the internet search engine and the morning program, the voice of democracy. Go over there with that. Don't come here with that dontology. We're not accepting that. But let me go to the next one. Let me go to my editorial now, based on what the Minister of National Security said. I had was to do an editorial. So I want you all to listen to my editorial now. Boy, be different, you know. I tell you, we originate, we don't imitate. And we absolutely mean that. When we come here, you get the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Right, Tommy?
100%. And we always speak truth to power.
Truth to power. So listen to this. Listen to my editorial, folks.
Crime is not a disease like COVID-19. An editorial by Professor Wall Street, Minister of National Security Fitzgerald Hines, recently compared crime to a disease like COVID-19, suggesting that it should be treated similarly, with everyone playing their part to combat it. While the intention behind this analogy might be to emphasize collective responsibility, it is fundamentally flawed and misleading. Here are 10 reasons why this comparison is inappropriate and why Minister Hines is absolutely wrong. 1. Nature of the problem COVID-19 is a viral infection caused by a specific pathogen, whereas crime is a social and legal issue rooted in human behavior and societal conditions. Treating crime as a disease oversimplifies its complex causes. 2. Prevention and treatment. Diseases like COVID-19 can be prevented through vaccines and treated with medical interventions. Crime prevention and treatment require multifaceted approaches, including social reforms, education, economic opportunities, and effective law enforcement. 3. Individual versus societal responsibility. While individuals can take personal measures to prevent the spread of a virus, crime prevention requires systemic changes and government intervention. It is not solely the responsibility of individuals to prevent crime. 4. Stigmatization. Comparing crime to a disease can stigmatize individuals involved in criminal activities, viewing them as infected rather than addressing the underlying social and economic factors that contribute to criminal behavior. 5. Resource allocation. Public health crises like COVID-19 demand immediate and substantial medical resources. Crime, on the other hand, requires long-term investment in social services, community programs, and policing reforms. 6. Public perception. Equating crime with a disease can lead to public misunderstanding and fear, potentially resulting in support for overly punitive measures rather than balanced, rehabilitative approaches. 7. Complexity of solutions. The solutions to crime are far more complex than those for a disease. They involve addressing poverty, education, family dynamics, and community support systems, which cannot be cured in the same way a disease can. 8. Role of government. The government's role in combating a pandemic is primarily through public health measures. In contrast, addressing crime involves a broader range of policies, including criminal justice reform, social welfare, and economic development. 9. Impact on policy. Viewing crime as a disease might lead to policies that focus on containment and punishment rather than prevention and rehabilitation. This could exacerbate the problem rather than solve it. 10. Moral and ethical implications. Crime involves moral and ethical dimensions that diseases do not. Criminal acts are choices made by individuals, often influenced by their environment and circumstances, whereas diseases are not a matter of choice. In conclusion, while Minister Hines' analogy might aim to highlight the seriousness of crime and the need for collective action, it fails to capture the true nature of the issue. Crime is a multifaceted social problem that requires comprehensive and nuanced solutions, not simplistic comparisons to a public health crisis. By understanding the distinct differences between crime and diseases like COVID-19, we can better address the root causes of criminal behavior and implement effective strategies to reduce crime in our society.
Tommy?
Yep.
It just, when I see that, I say, well, we never, I said, you're a Minister of National Security, and you talking about you comparing crime to COVID-19? Eh? You have a cure for COVID-19, you know? Why you don't go and get a vaccine for COVID, for crime? You should get a vaccine. Yeah, Mr. Florida. Let him get a vaccine.
Yeah. Yeah,
I go and call Johnson & Johnson and tell them it's our Minister of National Security in Trinidad. I want them to get a vaccine for crime. And that vaccine, we only sending that to Trinidad. Only to Trinidad. Nobody else ain't got a vaccine. A special vaccine for crime in Trinidad.
Yeah. So yeah, so I want to finish where I was saying, right, Mr. Tommy?
Yeah.
So I say this is everybody's problem. But where's the conviction rate and the detection rate in Trinidad?
If
I was living in Trinidad and I knew my neighbors and whoever selling this and had guns and whatever, you think I gonna say anything?
Yeah.
I can't, because I can't even go in protective custody in a safe house because they will find me. I will keep my mouth shut. So how you can get the trust of the citizen when you don't even have the trust of the police?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we trying to say they makes no sense. All right, Mr. Hanson,
yeah. Folks, put your closing comments in the chat and send your closing voice note. That fella sent my 7-minute voice note. I'm playing that one. I'm playing that one.
Not surprised. Disappointed, but not surprised. But let me qualify the point that I was making. I guess my choice of words make it easy for the mudslingers, the haters, and them to try and minimize the points that I made before, during, and after the issue. So, Magic Johnson's disclosure came out at a time when people were dying, when people were sick, when as if there were no cure, and all these things were happening to people. Big people and ordinary small people, so-called small people and so-called big people. And eventually, it reached to the stage where there are some persons who were able to do certain things and certain treatment and whatnot, and a lot of it had to do with physiology and so on. And they're almost living a normal life. Like if they get over it.
Oh God.
And normal life, doing the normal thing that they are accustomed to, but they have to take the meds and the other things that they have to do. So when I say he get over it, I mean get to that point where he could live almost like a normal life. Gosh, boy, go ahead. Go ahead, man. The sensible people will know the point that I'm making. Yeah?
Oh God. Tommy, anytime you make a comment and you have to come back to qualify your comment, you know you get catch with your pants down by your knees.
Exactly.
Oh God! The man get catch with his pants down by his knees because we listen attentively. That is what we do here. We listen. We listen. And what we are trying to tell you, think before you speak. Think before you speak. Don't speak and have to come back and qualify it. Think, especially when you're coming here in the village. Especially. Don't come in here with your P&M rhetoric or your P&M rhetorics and think you'll get away with it. We listen attentively. You said it, you know. So I supposed to interpret when you say Magic Johnson get over AIDS. I supposed to interpret that to know that you saying that, well, you're living with AIDS. I know your interpreter. That is your words, not mine. That's your problem. Anytime you have to come back and qualify what you said, you know your pants down by your knees. I'm going to leave it there. Folks, we're going to go for a quick break. Send your closing voice notes and send your closing text. We'll be right back. Stick and stay.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
We're back with you in the village with Uncle Tommy, Professor Walsh, and you on WZYE 95.9. Anderson, go ahead quickly.
Mr. Walsh, Uncle Tommy, good night. I came in a little late, Mr. Walsh. But after hearing this one, who feel celebrating, wanted to come back to try to correct what he said now.
Yeah.
In my thinking here, right sit down with me, I just feel Magic Johnson, but if he's a son or his brother or Eustace, nephew or something. Because for he to get rid of that, no longer live with that, something had to be wrong. Or whatever Magic Johnson using, or he does use, whatever medication he had been using, I want to send some for financial lines. I want to tell some of that behind. I know. If you watch it, all that really on the ground, all that little high up. So all you know. So wherever Magic Johnson using, I want to send some for the Minister of National Security for Trinidad and Tobago. Financial Alliance. Well, she's good program as usual.
Yeah, man.
Oh God, boy, Gordon George, boy. Oh God, give me a rest, boy. Oh God, I don't know what school you went to, but
Bless. Yeah. Tommy. By now, most people know when you come in the village, come factual.
Come correct.
Come correct. Don't come sideways. You understand? Don't come sideways. Right? You could come P&M ways. Right? Come P&M ways. Right? Come. But you go get boah in the Gael.
That's right.
It's only boy you will get.
What's in the Gael?
In the Gael. Once you're in the Gael, come in the village Gael, it's boy again. Don't come sideways. And then anytime, let me repeat this. Anytime you make a statement and you have to go back and qualify your statement, right? You know you was wrong in the first place. Yeah?
Yep.
So Gordon Joseph, don't come sideways or come P&M ways. right? Come straight forward. And before you make comments, Gordon Joseph, I'm giving you a hint. I'm helping you here. I don't know if Tommy want to help you, but I try to help you. Before you make comments, think about it carefully. And if you're not sure, call the pastor with the internet search engine name, ask him to Google it for you, right? So you know you're coming straight.
And Gordon, remember, we have an agenda. Our agenda is to make a better Trinidad and Tobago.
And we can only do that with the truth.
By being honest.
And honest. We can't do that with misleading people, trying to mislead people. You come in to tell people Magic Johnson get over AIDS. Magic Johnson get over no AIDS. We know that we living in America. You telling we who living here that he get over AIDS. But you must be the first one, boy.
No, but defending the indefensible is pathetic.
Pathetic. Absolutely. But anyway, we should understand that is what our fellow does do. Anyway, folks, my closing quote. My closing quote. And boy, we even get to have the video. So, okay, so here's this one. I don't walk away to teach people a lesson. I walk away because I finally learned mine. I don't walk away to teach people a lesson. I walk away because I finally learned mine. From where I sit, this is it. The clock on the wall said that's all I like to say, but I've got to go. Remember, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. For every 60 seconds of answer, every 60 seconds of anger, you lose 1 minute of happiness. Remember, your circumstances may determine who you are, but you are responsible for who you become. Go ahead, Tommy.
This one is the first one. The key is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. Like I always say, you, the man in the mirror, you must become that change you want to see. However, when you're looking at the mirror and you don't like what you see, do not blame the mirror. Never look down on a person unless you're giving them a hand up. I want you all to be safe out there. Take good care of yourselves so we can do this again, God willing, on Sunday when we talk politics. Good night.
Thank you, Tommy. And Patty, PNM Fox, Gordon Joseph, I have some homework for you. I'm putting you guys in my global business class, and I'm giving you guys homework. Patty, go and get your pen and paper. Okay, wait, she going for it. No, don't pick up the red book and the red pen. Leave the red pen, not the red book. Okay, that one. Yeah, the yellow one better. Pick up that one. Okay, all right, here we go. No, don't use the yellow red marker. Okay, all right. I want you guys to write this down. PNM Fox, Patty, Altier, Gordon Joseph. Again, all your homework. I want you to tell us here on WZYE, one socioeconomic statistic in the last 9 years where Black people in Trinidad and Tobago are at the top. One socioeconomic statistic where Black people in Trinidad and Tobago are at the top. Just one. Okay? All right? So Gordon Joseph says, but I did not lie as you did on Google Program and United. When he played back the tape, that one sent for him. It was clear you were walking on this show. Oh God, that fella is real kicks, boy. That's all you I call the man Gordon Joseph. You see why I call him Gordon Joseph, Tommy. Let me see if there's any voice notes. Miss Atlanta says, I asked my guru, which is more important, the journey or the destination? He replied, the company. Stop pushing so hard on the door looking for happiness. It opens inwards. Thank you, Miss Atlanta. When you learn how much you are worth, you will stop giving people discounts. When you learn how much you are worth, you'll stop giving people discount. There you go, Miss Atlanta. Thank you very much. Let's see if there's any others here. Nah, that's it. Okay, that's it. Tommy, Gordon Joseph says, making Trinidad and Tobago better by voting for the UNC, Tommy. I know I said vote for the UNC, but I don't know. Let me put up this guy closing comment. He says a geologist by training, Manning, the 2001 election ended in a tie with both the opposition PNM and the governing United National Congress winning 18 seats. President A.N.R. Robinson appointed Manning as the prime minister. In addition to prime ministership, Manning was also Minister of Finance from 2001 to 2007. In addition, why we could not diversify the economy in 2010 to 2010. I don't know what that is. Monty Steele, welcome. Okay, folks, we are out of here. We see you guys on Sunday. Same WZYE time, same WZYE channel. We are out of here. Later.
Hey, hey, oi, oi. Hey, hey, oi, oi. In Trinidad and Tobago, politics was we and them. That was never meant to be so, according to the anthem. But ethnic insecurity was maintained to divide us by some people in the country to sow the seeds of distrust. But we have bought a new system within the community. Now what used to be we and them has now become only we. From now on this nation is we. From now on it is you and I. From now on it is unity. From now on we flying high. All the races have come together to build a better country and create a brighter future for the whole society. The we and them thing is no more, because it is plain to see in this country from shore to shore the community is we. No more we and them, from now on this nation is we. No more we and them, from now on this nation is we and we and we and we. From India and some came from Africa. Look today, their descendants are here, coexisting together. There are others who came here too, the Chinese, Syrians and such. Native people are just a few in this land that we love so much. But the politics of the day and the love for a party cause people to begin to say them is them and we is we. From now on this country is we. From now on we all shall be one. From now on that's how it shall be. From now on all division done. As today united we stand, the people of Trinidad, one country, one nation, one island. Chutney Pan and Calypso, it's Trinidad and Tobago, better known as TNT. And we want the whole world to know we see ourselves as we. No more we and them, from now on this nation is we. No more we and them, from now on this nation is we and we and we and we.